Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dream Big, Do Bigger Women's Empowerment Summit. I'm Adriana Luna Carlos, co-founder and co-CEO of She Rises Studios and Phoenix TV. Before we dive into the incredible lineup that we have in store for you today, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey that brought us here. She Rises Studios began as a podcast in March of 2021, sparking the flame of becoming an unstoppable women movement and book series in September of that same year. It was a humble start, but little did we know the immense impact it would have. Fast forward to January of this year, and we proudly launched She Rises Studios Latina, taking our message of empowerment and inspiration to even greater heights. The support from our community has been nothing short of phenomenal, and for that we are truly grateful. But that's not all. We've reached another milestone in our journey, the launch of Phoenix TV. This remarkable platform is now available in over 120 countries, accessible on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and online at www.phoenixtv.app. And the best part is that it's free. So we want to really express our deepest gratitude to all of you who have been watching and supporting our network. You've been with us since the very first day one, every step of the way, and we couldn't have done it without you. Today, as we gather here from all corners of the globe, we can't help but feel the electricity in the air. The Dream Big, Do Bigger Empowerment Summit is not just an event, it's a celebration of empowerment, inspiration, and limitless potential. We've curated an exceptional lineup for you today featuring speakers who will ignite your passion, spark your creativity, and propel you toward your dreams. This lineup of exceptional speakers is a testament to the power of connection, the resilience of the human spirit, and the unwavering support of this incredible community. So buckle up, because today is about you. It's about unlocking your full potential, connecting with like-minded individuals, and taking your life and career to the next level. Are you ready to dream big and do even bigger?
We are the dreamers, we are believers, hearts on fire, we're high achievers, dreaming big, we will ignite, passion, talent, and being in spotlight. Let's stand together, strong and true, the sisterhood of dreamers, me and you. Together we'll rise strong and proud, shining with the stars above the crowd.
Hi, I'm Halen.
Hi, I'm Happy. Dream big, do bigger means to me of achieving your goals, like publishing your book at age 6.
To me, dream big means believing in yourself that you can do anything you put your mind to. Do bigger is overcoming your fears to actually make that dream your reality. Like writing a book with your sister, performing on stage, singing in front of a crowd, sharing your story with the world. Even starting your show, a TV show, to inspire others. If I can do all of this at 13, you can start any of these now.
So, why wait? Be amazing!
Hello, I'm Sue Phillips. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm delighted to do this. My background has been in fragrance for many, many years. Originally, I'm from South Africa, and I was a singer and an actress in South Africa and came to New York with stars and dreams to be a singer and an actress. But sadly, at the time, I wasn't able to get a green card for acting, but I landed up in the cosmetic industry. And so for me, over the last many, many years, I have actually forged a career in the fragrance industry, working at Elizabeth Arden, then Lancôme, and as vice president for Tiffany, I created the first Tiffany perfume. Interestingly enough, because of my background in theater, I've been able to become a motivational speaker. I've written a book called The Power of Perfume, and I've also helped many people regain their sense of smell from COVID and anosmia. My dreams at this stage are to really become a global brand, to take my expertise and my knowledge about fragrance and become an interesting brand worldwide to really help people understand the magic and the mystery of fragrance. I love to speak about fragrance, I love to talk about fragrance, and I love to make a difference in people's lives. And so for me, dreaming bigger is to really become a global brand. And interestingly enough, I am back acting again. So the idea of communication, whether it be through multi-sensory events, or through speaking on a stage and acting a character and a role and a part, and just creating a difference in people's lives through fragrance is what has motivated me. I'm excited to be here, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Hannah Olivas. And I am from She Rises Studios. I have been the CEO and founder since 2019. And before I became a CEO or founder, I was just Hannah Olivas. And my whole entire life, I have been a dreamer. I've always had big visions. I've always known that I had this major purpose set out for me, but I didn't know what it was. And so I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking to you about what it means to dream big and do absolutely bigger. So I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. I was raised by my grandparents. I am an only child. I am a mother of 4 amazing children and 4 bonus babies. I have 6 grandkids and an amazing husband. And I have had the biggest blessings in life just from being a mom. And I love my life. But if you would have asked me this question, do I love my life, years ago, I was in a completely different place. I was making bad financial decisions. I was living as a single mom and just barely making ends meet. But I was always being pushed. There was something nudging me, telling me, there's more for you. You have to hang on a little longer. There's more for you. You have to hang on a little longer. And there were so many times as a single mom, and even prior to me having children, that I wanted to just give up. I was someone who experienced early age trauma And things that most men or women will never experience in their lifetime was happening to me at such a young age. And I think that it started to mold me into this strong, guarded, terrified girl. And I carried so many of those behaviors on for so long. And yet I still kept hearing this voice and feeling this nudge saying, you're going to do something. This is not all that it is for you. You have dreams. You have a purpose. You have to figure it out. And I was a food server, bartender. I was a makeup artist for 20 plus years. I'm telling you, like my resume is extensive, but I wasn't ever really truly happy doing what I was doing unless I was creating business or running a business. And so I decided that it was time to stop being afraid, stop questioning everything, and just start doing. And so here we are. Today, I'm coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm going to talk to you about dreaming big and doing bigger and what that means. And for me, the perspective again changed when I was diagnosed with this crazy terminal illness and being told by doctors at first that they didn't know what it was. Secondly, I'm too young to have it. Thirdly, you have so much time to live, get your affairs in order. I mean, we went through it. And finally, I said, enough, enough. I'm going to listen to that voice, to those nudges that kept telling me, hang on, there's more for you. Something good is coming. All the messes turn into messages. And I wholeheartedly believe that. So one day I was sitting and I was just really in a dark place after hearing this diagnosis and just wondering like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? What is my purpose? And it kind of makes me wonder how many of you are there right now where life has changed. We've gone through a pandemic together. There's so many things that have shifted for us as women on a day-to-day basis. Some of us have been married and now are single mothers. Some of us are single mothers and now married. Some are grandmas. But at the end of the day, we still are here. And some of us are still trying to figure out what our purpose is. Why do we have the dreams that we have, the visions that we have, the goals that we have in our heart? Where does it come from? And the answer is ourselves. It's our own visions. It's things that have been planted in our heart and mind that we're supposed to live out, execute. And so dreaming big and doing bigger is exactly that. Your dreams can never be too big. Ever, ever. No matter what people tell you, your dreams are so important because it's where the creativity has started. It's where that passion is. It's where all those little still small voices that you've probably been hearing and all those nudges that I'm talking to you about have been all along. And you've just never been quiet enough to hear it and receive the messages that are there for you. So today I'm going to teach you and talk to you about how to do that, how to listen, how to embrace the dreams that you have in your heart, and then how to do them and how to do them bigger, because there is nothing that can stop you from attaining the dreams, the goals, the visions, but you. Do you know why that is? Because the limit is you. The limit isn't anyone else but you. The excuses come from you. The limitations come from you. Even with a chronic health illness, even when the world is falling apart around you, you still have a choice. You have a choice to continue to dream, but do bigger. So remember that every time you're saying, well, maybe next year, the opportunity is not right. There's never going to be the perfect opportunity because life happens. The world does not stop. It continues to go. So when you're thinking of, oh, maybe next year, oh, maybe next time, remember this, people. You have one life, only one. You don't get to do redos. So the time that we have here is so valuable. It's more valuable than money. It's valuable in so many different ways. Our dreams are valuable. Doing them bigger is valuable. And the journey from dreaming big to doing bigger is incredible. And it's a process. It's actually a lifestyle. When you start living out your dreams and you start implementing the things to make them come true and reaching the goals that you want, life looks so different. Yes, there are hurdles, so many. I've heard women say, I can't run this business. I don't have capital. I'm running out. Or I can't start this business because I can't get a loan. Or I don't have enough money to pay my rent next week. I work with women who have been homeless. I work with women who have been involved in human trafficking as a victim. I have worked with women who have faced domestic violence. And trust me when I tell you, I have seen these women grow and glow and move because they finally said yes to dreaming big and doing bigger, because they finally acknowledged that voice, that nudge, that gut feeling that they've had, knowing that there's something so much better than where they're at right now. And they embraced the process. They embraced the journey. They embraced the fear, everything that comes with it. They took it on. And now they're in this journey and they're in this process like myself, going through and loving life, living life out loud and dreaming big and doing bigger. So the story that I'm about to tell you is one story of how I dream big and do bigger. And that was when I was diagnosed, I couldn't find the answers I was looking for. I was scared. I got involved with local nonprofits looking for counseling groups. And I wasn't getting the answers, and I was feeling scared, alone. Who has what I have? How do they live with it? I was trying to put on my brave face for my husband, for my kids, for everybody that I knew. And I wasn't thinking of me. And there was that still small voice saying, hey, you got to think of you right now. Everybody else is there to support you and be your support system. So finally, I decided, you know what? I can't get the answers I need or the support I need. I'm going to create a system. I'm going to advocate for myself. I'm going to create a system, and I'm going to help other people like me so that they know that they're not alone. And I opened up a nonprofit. The nonprofit was one of the most amazing decisions that I ever made. And I had no idea how to run one. I had great support, a great board. My oldest daughter, relocated to Las Vegas to help me run and open this nonprofit to what it is today. And I still knew that I was meant to do more. So I told her one day, I said, we're literally in the middle of a pandemic. And I know a lot of you have heard this story, but how I'm talking to you today is not scripted. This is straight from my heart, to your ears, to your mind. So I'm sitting with her. We're in our office and we're talking about nonprofit stuff and how we're going to elevate and how we're going to help people and how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that. And I said, you know who else needs help right now? Women. Women need help. We need advocacy. We need representation. We need elevation, education, celebration, love, kindness, care. Because so many of us, when we got hit with the world pandemic, took the role of something that we weren't used to taking. And we had to do it. We didn't have a choice. We did not have a choice. So we decided, you know what? Let's put some inspiration into the world. Let's create an Instagram page and a Facebook page, and let's just put inspirational quotes. And before we know it, people are following this. They're watching this. They're watching our quotes. They're engaging. They're sharing how they feel. And it became this forum of where women felt safe to say, hey, yeah, you know what? Times are tough right now, and I don't know what to do. So then we decided, you know what? Let's do a podcast. And again, we didn't know how to do a podcast. We weren't trained professionals. We had no idea what we were doing, but we know that we needed to do it. And this vision that I had and this feeling that I had kept saying, do it. Keep going forward. Do what you have to do. Learn how to make this work. And we did. We started this podcast. We started with women locally that we knew that had these stories that were willing to share and help inspire other women. And now today, that podcast is on all the major platforms. That podcast is listened to by millions of women across the world. It is a global podcast. So now I'm like, okay, we must be doing something right. But my dream is still big. I'm not even close to being done. I told my daughter, we're not close to being done. So we decided to form a movement for women called Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. So how do you dream bigger, do even bigger, while becoming an unstoppable woman? We were like, I don't know. How do we do it? I said, we write a book. We write a book about becoming an unstoppable woman, and we talk about what that means. And we gather women from all over the world, and we embrace them. We educate them. We elevate them. We inspire them to share their stories. And the forum grew. We published the book. We didn't just publish one, we published 6. The movement grew like wildfire because women were looking for a space to be themselves, to dream big, to do bigger, to want to learn, to want to be embraced for exactly who they are, where they are in life right now. We created a forum with no expectations, no stigmas, no anything. Just come as you are. Our house is your house. She Rises Studios is a home that me and my daughter built. That home is now globally functioning in over 16 countries day to day. We went from an Instagram page to a Facebook page to a global podcast to a global publishing firm to a global public relations firm. And we didn't stop there. Then we decided, you know what? We want to do some type of platform where women can be seen, heard, and known globally as well. We already created the power of publishing. We created the power of podcasting. So we opened up Phoenix TV of this year. In fact, March of 2023, we soft launched. Again, we had no formal training in any of this. And all of these things that I'm telling you are all dreams that were put in my heart that I had to figure out how to execute them. Why are they there? Why am I dreaming so big? Excuse me. Because so many people say, oh my gosh, Hannah, how do you think of these things? Where does this come from? Literally, they come from my dreams. I sleep and I dream such incredible things. In fact, I just had one the other day where I'm about to step into another arena and I know that I'm meant to be there. And that's for another summit. We'll talk about that. But what I'm saying is that these things that I dreamed about, we implemented, we did bigger. We did so much bigger. Phoenix TV is now in 127 countries, 3 major platforms. We have an app for it. And that's how you're watching us today, is Phoenix TV. Who would have known in 3 short years that all of this would have happened? We just celebrated our 2nd year for Becoming an Unstoppable Woman anniversary of the movement and book series. And we also just released Becoming an Unstoppable Woman, The Journey Continues. Because the journey hasn't stopped. It's another book. It's another piece to the movement. And it is incredible. All the men and women, because men have supported us too. All of these men and women across the world that I have had the fortunate privilege to meet, to work with on a day-to-day basis, has completely changed my life. It has changed my family's life. It has changed my daughter's life, who you will hear from today as well. And it has opened doors that I never imagined. As I mentioned to you earlier, I grew up with my grandparents. I didn't have a mom and a dad who were hands-on with me. In fact, I don't know why. I've often questioned that, but I think it made me who I am today. Where I am right now, I'm so proud of myself. And not of the accomplishments that I've done, but I'm proud of myself that I never gave up. So when you talk about dreaming big and doing bigger, that's exactly what you need to do. That's exactly why this summit was created from you. And you're going to hear from women talking about dreaming big, doing bigger in so many different areas of business and life. And I'm here to tell you that every single woman on this platform that you hear from today, you're going to be amazed. And I'm here to tell you this: if they can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. A pandemic cannot stop you. The economy cannot stop you. What's in your heart and what you've been dreaming is now what you need to be doing. So stop looking for the right opportunity, because you'll never find one. You make the opportunities, because as I mentioned earlier, the only thing stopping you from dreaming big and doing bigger is you, because the limit is you. You often hear people say, oh my goodness, the sky's the limit. It's not. The sky is not the limit, because there's no limit. The limit is you. Yes, obstacles happen, but you can overcome those obstacles. Is it picture perfect? No, it's not. Because throughout this journey, since we opened up She Rises Studios, Phoenix TV, She Rises Studios Latina, another division that we opened, all of these different things, while all of that was happening on the front end, life was happening on the back end. For me, for my daughter, for my family. So many of us always think that being an entrepreneur and these dreams are easy to attain. They're not, but it's worth it, because the journey that you're meant to experience is so incredible. You might be in a place of hardship right now, but you're the one who can change it. Not me, not anyone else, only you. You have to be open to embracing the dreams that are in your heart. You have to be open to embracing change, stepping outside of that comfort zone that we all talk about all the time. You have to be open to putting aside the labels that you've put upon yourself. I have imposter syndrome. I don't have this. I don't have that. Those are all things, limits that you put on you. So today, what I want to leave you with is dreaming big and doing bigger is a lifestyle. It's action steps. You feel the dream in your heart, in your mind, your body, your soul. It's only your dream. No one person has the same dream. So I encourage you today, after you watch this incredible summit and red carpet awards and all these different things that we have planned for you, I want you to go and dream big, do bigger, become that unstoppable woman, and break the glass ceiling. That's what I want you to do. And you don't have to wait till 2024 New Year's resolution day, because quite frankly, if you wait till then you're going to come up with another excuse as to why you haven't started yet. So start today. We here at She Rises Studios have so many ways to get you started, so many ways to get you plugged into a community who will embrace you, help you, support you, not compete with you, but literally lock arms with you and help you attain the goals and the dreams that you're meant to live. So live your life out loud, dream big, do bigger, become that unstoppable woman that I know you are, and go out and break all those glass ceilings that you're meant to do. Because the only person who can do that is you. I'm so excited for you to hear the rest of these incredible women. And I hope that you learn something. I hope that you know that if I can do this, you can do this. Your dream is important. Your vision is important. Thank you so much. My name is Hannah Olivas, and I am the CEO of She Rises Studios and Phoenix TV.
My name is Annabelle Beckwith. I'm a host on Phoenix TV, a show called True Calling. I'm also the author of 3 best-selling books, one of which is Dream Big, Do Bigger. What I'd like to share with you today is some key thoughts about dreaming big and doing bigger. It's so easy to say that, isn't it? What exactly does it mean? So the first thing is, obviously enough, to allow yourself to dream big. Now, I don't know about you, but I often find that when I'm expressing my dreams and aspirations, perhaps to the wrong people, they will start to say, oh, come on, Annabelle, be realistic. Let's focus on what's practical. And that's the first thing, is dream big. Allow yourself to dream big. Because if you don't have a big dream and a big aspiration to aim towards, frankly, what's the point? If you're going to go all in for something, go all in for something big. And there's a double-edged sword at work here, because on one hand, on the positive side, dream big, dream the fantastic and the ridiculous, because it's safe to dream. Nothing's actually going to happen. That, though, is also the downside. This is the double-edged sword, because dreaming big is not enough, because it's safe. Nothing's going to happen unless you do something with those dreams. So dream big. The second thing to do is to decide to do something about those dreams. Decide to take the first step. Now, one thing I will say, and say with a passion, is that you do not need, my friends, you do not need anybody else's permission to succeed. It's up to you to decide. Now, when I say decide, I don't mean those decisions that are like, I'll set out, and if it's a bit too difficult, I'll turn back. This is a really committed decision. If you are going to achieve great things, it takes a committed decision, and it takes for you to step out, Now, as you step out, that is likely to bring about fear. And a key thing to bear in mind here, something I feel that is often not talked about, is that when we feel fear, one of the things not to do is wait for the fear to go away, wait till we feel ready, and then we'll step out. No, there is no such thing as ready. The fear will not go away. We take the first step anyway, and in taking one step, the second step, the third step, in moving forward, the fear diminishes. It's that way round. Don't wait to be ready. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Take the first step, and then the second step, and the third step. And by the way, at that point, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh steps will become clear to you. Take the step. And it's in moving forward that the fear then diminishes. It might not go away for good, though, because as you're moving towards doing bigger to really achieve fantastic things in your life, you need to stay brave. Stay brave. Remember why you are setting out on this particular journey. Stay brave. Surround yourself with the right people. Master the inner game. Manage your journey. Know that there are going to be ups and downs. Do not compare your journey and yourself to anybody else, because comparison is the thief of joy. You will start to look at other people and think that they've got it all figured out and you're the one who is lousing up somehow, and that will not be the case. Other people will be looking at you thinking precisely the same thing. Stay brave. Stay on track. And as a final point, when you get there, friends, celebrate your achievement. Don't overlook what you've done. Don't dismiss it and move straight on to the next thing. Celebrate what you have done. Friends, I wish you all the best for this whole conference. It is time now to dream big and do bigger. I'm Annabelle Beckwith. Thank you.
Has been such an exciting conference. I'm over here. I'm like notes after notes after notes. These speakers have been incredible. I cannot wait to pick up these gems and start doing and putting these in action immediately. If you're super excited about this, drop a 3 down in the comments if you're here live. I want to share the excitement with you. It's been amazing. All right, let's get into it. Dream big, do bigger. I love the theme of this conference because I think that there's a definite difference between dreaming and doing, and I can't wait to get into it. I remember being little and dreaming about being a boss. Like I would drag my dad's briefcase into his office because I couldn't pick it up because I was super tiny. And I would like drag it in, and I would get up and I would get in his desk and I would like stack the papers and I would pick up the phone. Do y'all remember the phones with the cords on it? I know like that's been years ago, but do y'all remember the phone with the cord on it? Okay, that's what I had. I would pick it up and I don't even know what I was saying. I was saying something in my mind. I was like something really important. And then I would like slam it down. And I would just remember I was dreaming of being a boss. I was dreaming of owning my own business. I was dreaming of making an impact. I was dreaming of just this big life, right? And then I grew up, and those vivid dreams, I mean, the dreams were still vivid. They were right there. I still always wanted to be my own boss, but I remember some fear would get in the way, and I went to nursing school. But that dream was still really, really vivid. I wanted to own my own business. I wanted own my own business, but it felt really daunting. It felt really hard. It felt out of reach. It really felt like my dreams couldn't turn into action, right? But then I remembered these incredible women from history that showed me that being a woman, A, is amazing. I'll get into that in just a little bit. But B, is that it's completely doable, that you can take your dreams and put them into reality, and that it is important, that it's not just about us. Our dreams aren't just about us. Our dreams make a much bigger impact in the world. Let me give you some examples. One of them is Marie Curie. Who here remembers Marie Curie, right? Not only is she the first woman Nobel Peace Prize winner, but she won 2. And she took her dreams and brought them into reality through x-rays. Tell me x-rays are not something that is incredibly important and has impacted many lives. Next is Katherine Johnson. I love her. She is amazing. Please do some research. She is someone that worked for NASA and was so incredibly intelligent and smart. She was a mathematician. Her nickname was Computer. And she helped put a man on the moon. She had her dream. She did it. The third person I want to talk about is Ada Lovelace. She's like one of my favorites. I love Ada Lovelace because I'm a little bit of a tech geek. I'm a little bit of a nerd, love me some technology. And Ada Lovelace, she is considered one of the very first computer programmers. She was born in 1815. Okay, 1815. From 1815, and because of the work that Ada Lovelace had done, which was her dream, her passion, and she did something with it, we are able to sit on this conference together around the world today. So important to remember that our dreams are not always just for us. Our dreams make an impact on other people, specifically women, right? I want to drop into that a little bit because let's be real, there is a gap between dreaming and doing. There are societal pressures. There's lack of funding. There's a lack of support, right? But what's really interesting is that a lot of times the gap is ourselves and what we push ourselves into doing. I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of what I do. So there is this cyclical nature of women. There is this rhythm of women. Remember in the beginning, I said, I'm going to talk to you about how amazing these women are. And the fact that they're women and they harness their own innate power. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about is how we have this own innate built-in power in our own DNA, in our own bodies that we can harness and really help us bridge that gap from dreaming to doing. I call it the cycle aligned method. It's really syncing nature and women's rhythms into giving them this innovative edge. There's a specific way that we should be being and doing at specific times of the month that can help us get ahead, not just in business, but also in life. And I'll go over those. But I wanted to share just a little bit of a story about that. One of my clients, she was an organizer. And there was this specific time of the month, this one specific date every month. And everything would fall apart. And she'd say, what is going on? What is happening? I just don't understand. And then there would be this one point of the month where it was just, everything was amazing. Everything was in flow. Everything was going right. And so I tried to explain to her, hey, wait a minute. Let's look at what's going on here and let's harness this power. When she was able to see her own ebbs and flows in her body, her own cyclic rhythms, she was able to realign what she was doing throughout the month and became more successful and increase her clients because she was executing at the right time. This is powerful. There is a feminine way of doing business. There is an important balance of being and doing, though. It's not about being in this constant hustle. Unfortunately, in today's age, there is this hustle culture. But I'm going to be real with you. It kind of coincides with this like bro culture. And that's not how women do business. That's not how women should do business, right? When we align our natural cycles and make our actions more impactful and harmonious, we can bring our dreams to realization without burnout. Wait, what? Yeah. So I just said hustle and burnout almost in the same sentence. But really, that's the truth. When we start working with our bodies and our natural rhythms that are in our DNA, we can set up our schedule and have this harmonious. I hate even to use the word balance because I personally believe there is no full on balance, right? But we can have a harmonious rhythm of ebbs and flows, of being, of doing in our business and in our life. And that is what makes success. That's what helps materialize our dreams into reality without burnout. But what's more important is going back to that support piece, right? That gap of being supportive. We as women, we want a tribe. We want community around us. We want people that we can connect with. It's natural. Going back through history, we can see over and over and over again through various countries, cultures, and continents that there were women communities, especially when it was that time of the month. Women would gather together. They would tell stories. That's how stories and skills and wisdom was passed on generation to generation. And it was during a specific time by being and doing. So it's important to find your specific community. Who are your women that you can stand with solidarity? Who can support you when you are in that being and maybe need someone that is doing? Or maybe you're in that doing space and need someone that is just being. Find your women. Now, I want to reiterate that dreaming is just the beginning, okay? Magic lies with aligned action. I'm going to repeat that. The magic lies in aligned action. So we have our dreams. This is that being piece. And we take that and we bring it into aligned action by doing things at a specific time naturally within our own rhythm and cyclic nature. That's where the magic happens. That's where success happens. That's where the impact in the world happens. I know that happened with me. I had horrible periods, TMI, sorry, back whenever I was younger, and I would just miss days and days of work. I could not function. And I had to decide what was the next step? What could I do? And I remember naturally looking at my schedule and rearranging things. And I knew that whenever I had really important meetings, really important like clients or speech conferences and speaking opportunities, that it was really important to focus on putting them here instead of somewhere else so that I could show up at my 100% best self. And by doing that, the more I did that, the less stressed I felt, the more aligned I felt, the more clients I got. And I realized that, well, wait a second, this is a business. And that's where Cycle Align was really born. So my dream of being a business owner, I brought into realization. And I'm going to tell you, I love being my own boss. I love it. And I love helping women realize their own natural innate power, that they can do the same thing too. I have this really amazing mastermind that I'm putting together. It's called Ebb and Elevate Entrepreneurs. If you're interested, find me on Instagram at Cycle Align, or you can go to my website, cyclealign.com, and shoot me a message. I want to hear your story. I want to hear how you ebb and flow in business. I want to know your dreams and how we can make them a reality. You know, when we have this cyclical alignment and community and balance of being and doing, we have this potential of business transformation, life, personal transformation. And more importantly, just like those incredible women I talked about at the beginning, real impact in the world. So I want you to remember that, you know, every big achievement begins with a decision to try. I want you to dream big, then make those dreams even bigger with aligned action. I'm going to repeat that again. Every big achievement, this is write it down, that's why I'm reading it. Every big achievement begins with the decision to try, dream big, then make those dreams even bigger with aligned action. So what are you going to take action on? What are your big dreams? Shoot me a DM. Tell me how I can support you, because you are going to make an impact in the world. Thank you.
I'm Melanie Greenhalgh, and I'm a leading evidence-based neuro coach and women's transformation activator. I'm an international and TEDx speaker, as well as a best-selling author and CEO of Collective Wisdom Coaching and Consulting. I specialize in helping women bridge the gap between the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment to create an extraordinary life. And I do this by leveraging their emotional brain to develop a more caring, calm, and compassionate relationship with themselves. I have one-on-one coaching workshops, as well as a signature coaching program called the Real Success Academy. But what I'm here to do today is to tell you a story about a woman I know who felt broken, lost, overwhelmed, and alone in her life. She'd experienced several major tragedies and was living in survival mode. She was parenting 4 young children, supporting the vulnerable in the work that she did, and was really trying to rebuild a life that had been ruptured over and over again. And through it all, she appeared successful, but she was exhausted. She felt inauthentic and like she was an imposter in her own life because her mask hid so much pain, regret, and suffering. But through it all, there was a trickle of hope, because this woman dreamed of a world where every woman understood her worth and really knew that they are never alone. And her dream was for a world where women shared their hopes, desires, dreams, fears, failures, and successes with courage. So she tried, and then she got up and tried again. And in fact, she kept trying until she found what she was looking for: fulfillment, contentment, contribution, community, and alignment with her own definition of success. And that woman is me. What I want you to know is that you don't need to have all the answers all of the time. What you need to be able to dream big and do bigger is to feel anchored to your values. Take time to discover your strengths. Do the work on your own worth. Persevere, be flexible, and trust in the process. By focusing on these strengths, you will succeed and achieve your biggest dreams. So what are you waiting for? Go do it.
Hi, I'm Martina Kwan, and welcome to my interpretation of what it means to dream big and do bigger. I was born in Hong Kong to a Chinese father and a German mother, and was destined to a life that was different, growing up in Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. What I didn't realize is how much daydreaming helped me preserve my sanity when we lived in Beirut, Lebanon during the war. We moved there when I was 8 years old, and the war started shortly thereafter. And the nightly bombs, rockets, and explosions really rocked me to my core. What I did to escape those terrifying moments and those terrifying thoughts is I daydreamed with my Barbie dolls and my Ken dolls and my barns and horses that I was riding in this beautiful, peaceful forest far away. Lo and behold, a few years later, we fled as refugees to Germany, which was my mother's home country, and I found myself riding in that same exact forest. The lesson that my daydreaming during the war taught me is that whatever I visualized, I accomplished. I wanted to work for the best accounting firms in the world, work for KPMG and Pricewaterhouse. I wanted to work on male-dominated Wall Street, worked at Lehman Brothers. Wanted to win Emmy Awards in my 3D animation company, won 2, and the list went on. I wanted to win Telly Awards, won 4, and wanted to get married and have 2 children later in life because I was such a workaholic, got married and had 2 beautiful daughters before the age of 40. And then in my furniture design and manufacturing company, wanted to win Furniture Design Awards, won 9. And then last but not least, when I turned 50, I wanted to become a winning race car driver and became a 3-time champion race car driver. So yes, I felt great that I did all these things, but at the end of the day, the most important thing in life was not the awards, the accolades, or the possessions, but meeting my soulmate. So when I divorced for the second time in my life, I had enough. I didn't want to settle anymore, and I wanted to meet the man of my dreams, the person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, my soulmate. So then I met him, and we've been together happily for over 6 years. A little bit about myself is that I've always been an alpha woman, strong, opinionated, and independent, which has really served me in my career. But being a strong woman has not necessarily served me in my personal life. And I always seem to attract the wrong men. I ignored the red flags and would make excuses to stay with the men. 7 years ago, after I turned 50, I said, I wanted to change my life completely. I said enough is enough, divorced my ex-husband, and became a race car driver. And during this time of remembering who I was, I came up with a framework of how to meet a soulmate in 3 to 6 months. And that's exactly what happened to me. And that's exactly what can happen to you. So by the way, I thought I had it all when I married my ex-husband. This was my second marriage, and I was determined to make it work. We met in 2000 and I was 34, and he said all the right things at the beginning. But then after we were together for a while, I realized that there were a lot of red flags that I chose to ignore. And I realized that our relationship was based on false pretenses and that he definitely was not my soulmate. But I really wanted to try and make it work for the sake of my 2 beautiful daughters. But in 2017, I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. And I moved on. But before I was to meet my true soulmate, I realized that I had to go on my own journey of self-discovery. So what I did is I got back into the driver's seat. I remembered who I was again on an Arabian horse in the Arabian desert in September of 2016. And I did things I never thought imagined possible after the age of 50, including becoming a champion pro race car driver. And in 5 months, I indeed met my soulmate, Dwayne. We love to do the same things, including riding horses. And most importantly, we share the same values, beliefs, and work ethic. And who would have thought we're both champion race car drivers? Now I want to share with you the exact same framework I used to find my soulmate. It's so interesting. Stay put. I want you to see this. I'm going to switch over to my other slides right now. See here in the middle of the screen is the bullseye. And this is the result that people get after working with me. And I help them meet their soulmate in 3 to 6 months. And after speaking with hundreds of women in our shoes, because I was one as well, the number one thing I see them struggling with, or that I hear the most, is that they feel like they've always attracted the wrong man. Instead, I'm going to show you how to call on your soulmate in 3 easy steps. The first step is we're going to look at how to fix your broken picker permanently. The picker's going to the shop and it's going to get fixed permanently. The next thing we do is I'm going to show you how to spot those red flags before they're even flags. And number 3, the third step is we need to have you develop a my soulmate is possible mindset. I've worked with a lot of people who say they want a soulmate, but unconsciously feel they don't deserve one or can't find one. I change all that and change the mindset to my soulmate is possible. So I call this my soulmate attraction path. And what's amazing with this path process is that as soon as you do this, you feel totally comfortable being yourself. After being married twice, I told myself I never wanted to attract the wrong man again. That's when I created this process. And so the first step was I'm going to help you call in your soulmate. And the next thing I hear people freaking out about is what if they do something to sabotage that? We've all done that, right? So what I want to make sure after you call in your soulmate is that you have no fear of self-sabotage. In fact, I'm going to show you how to end sabotage, and we do this in 3 simple steps. First, we're going to examine and pinpoint all of your past relationship patterns. The second thing is we're going to clear all of your old love blocks once and for all. And what's cool about this is we find the original poor memory, and I'm telling you, it's in your childhood. And I pull it out like a poison weed that will never go back again. And the next thing we do is to rewire your mind to just say no to your old ways. Enough, period, end of story, no more. I call this my soulmate self-mastery method. And what happens after that is you experience increased intimacy right away. I want to tell you a really cool story about Nicole, who was in relationship after relationship where it seemed so good on the surface, but she did something to blow each one of those up. After working on my soulmate self-mastery method, she met her soulmate. They live together now, and they just got their first puppy called Loki. And the last thing I see as a repeated pattern with women like us is sometimes we're afraid of saying the wrong thing, or we feel like we're walking on tiptoes or eggshells. And I'm going to show you how to know exactly what to say and how to say it. The first step is we need to know how to be the beta woman. Now, I help 2 different kinds of people. There are people who are already completely comfortable being the beta woman. And then the other bucket of women I work with are like me, who are alpha women. And we sometimes clash with our alpha male counterparts because we're so strong. What I show you is how to be a beta woman without losing yourself, without feeling like you have to transform yourself into a different person. That helps us get into the very important receptive mode. The next thing I'm going to do is show you exactly what to say and how to say it, so you both get what you want, because in a relationship, it's so important that both people are satisfied. And the third thing is when you start getting what you want, I show you how to be open to receiving graciously, because a lot of women, believe it or not, are not used to getting what they want. So I show you how to do that. Now, and the cool thing is we do this really easily with my soulmate connection process. What happens after that is both feel seen and heard for a win-win. This was a real biggie for me and so many strong women. I mean, I knew exactly what to say at work, but when I used that same approach wanting to meet my soulmate, it felt like I was a bull walking in a china shop. And it was only after I learned to take a little bit of a step back to be the beta woman that I met my soulmate and that it clicked. And we've been happily together for 6 years now. And after implementing these steps in my life, I was finally able to attract the man whose shoulders I can lean on for a change. Now, didn't that just make total sense? I wanted to create a framework that was like boom, boom, and boom, easy to understand, easy to implement. And I, Martina Kwan, will be able to get you back into the driver's seat of your love life. And this is how you can get a hold of me. First of all, make a screenshot, because you know what happens if we don't. It's really hard to scribble things down. But it is email info@martinakwan.com, MartinakWan.com, Or alternatively, you can look at my calendar and book a good 45 to 60 minutes, and we can talk about everything that's going on in your life and how I can help you get back in the driver's seat. And that is HTTPS, don't forget the HTTPS :// www.martinakwan.com/love map, LOVEMAP. Thank you so much for being here and listening to what I interpret as dream big and do bigger in life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are tuning in from today, welcome to the Dream Big, Do Bigger Summit. I'm so happy that you're here. What does it mean to dream big and do bigger? Today, I want to take you on a journey through my life, my experiences, and the powerful lessons I've learned along the way. I'm here not just as a speaker, but as a fellow traveler on the path of personal and professional growth. Hi, my name is Leslie Gadet, and I wear many hats. I'm a wife celebrating over 27 years of marriage with the love of my life. I'm a contributor to a remarkable book anthology titled Becoming an Unstoppable Woman, 25 Strategies to Help You Achieve the Unstoppable Mindset. In this book, my chapter delves into the value of time, and it's titled Time, How Taking It Back Saved My Life. I'm also proud to be part of the SRS Collective leadership team. But what truly sets my heart on fire, what fuels my passion and purpose, is self-care. I am a self-care coach, and my mission is clear: to support women in business, especially those with small teams, in embracing self-care as a lifestyle choice. Why? Because I've witnessed the transformation it can bring. I've seen how it empowers women to not just survive, but thrive in both their personal and professional lives. Throughout my journey, I've come to understand the profound connection between self-care and success, and I'm here to share that insight with you today. So, as we embark on this voyage together, fasten your seatbelts because we're about to explore the boundless potential of dreaming big and doing even bigger, all while taking exquisite care of ourselves. Time, my friends, is a curious thing. It flows with unwavering consistency, a resource we all possess in equal measure. Yet how we choose to spend this precious commodity is what really defines us. I firmly believe that time is our most valuable asset. It's a currency that can't be saved or invested. Once spent, it's gone forever. We all have the same 24 hours each day, whether we're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, a stay-at-home mom, an artist, or an entrepreneur. It's the one resource that doesn't discriminate. It treats us all as equals. But here's the twist in the tale. While we all have the same amount of time, we don't always use it wisely. We get caught up in the busyness of life, often neglecting what truly matters. We chase material possessions, believing they hold the key to our happiness. We fill our days with endless tasks, endless to-do lists, sometimes forgetting to pause and reflect after we've completed something, which leads us to forgetting what I believe are valuable wins. And no one task is too small to celebrate, even if that task is today you joined the 5 a.m. club and began the day that you committed to starting your day off with a win. What we often fail to realize is that time's true assets are our experiences. It's the moments we create, the memories we cherish, and the connections we build that give time its real value. It's about the laughter shared with loved ones, the adventures embarked upon, and the lessons learned along the way. To make the best use of our time, we must prioritize something often overlooked, and that's ourselves. Taking care of ourselves isn't a selfish act, it's an essential one. Just as you'd maintain a priceless antique or a rare masterpiece, you must also care for yourself, because when we're at our best, we can fully embrace life's experiences, savoring every moment. I'll go one step further. When you take care of you the best you can, you get the best of you, and everyone and everything else in your life benefits as well. Now imagine this: instead of accumulating material possessions that lose their luster over time, what would your life be like if you focused on collecting experiences that over time grow more precious with each passing day? Picture yourself at the end of your life, looking back with a heart overflowing with joy, gratitude, and love. No regrets for the time well spent, for the experiences cherished, and for the moments lived to the fullest. This, my friends, is the power of time. And the key to unlocking its potential lies in understanding its worth and in the care we invest in ourselves. As we navigate the waters of dreaming big and doing bigger, remember that every dream realized and every endeavor undertaken are, in essence, moments in time. So let's embark on this journey with a deep appreciation for the value of time and the experiences it bestows upon us. Now, let's dive deep into the heart of the matter, self-care, what I believe is the lifeblood of our journey towards dreaming big and achieving even bigger. You see, the path to realizing our grandest dreams and ambitions is often demanding. It requires dedication and work and perseverance. But here's the crucial insight to remember. To excel on this path to living a joyful and rewarding life, we must first excel in taking care of ourselves, because if we neglect taking care of us, we end up siphoning off our energy stores, which can lead to burnout. My friends, I'd like to share with you my top 3 self-care essentials. These are the pillars that have not only shaped my journey, but have also become the cornerstone of my work as a self-care coach. Number 1, learning to say no. The power of this tiny word cannot be underestimated. Learning to say no is, in fact, a profound act of self-care. It's about setting boundaries, preserving your time, and protecting your well-being. It's about recognizing that you can't do it all alone, and that's perfectly okay to decline when something doesn't align with your goals or values. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you discerning and respectful of your own priorities. And if saying no doesn't fit because it's really something that you would like to do, but it's not the right timing, be proactive. Suggest when it will work for you, because oftentimes you'll find that the scheduling of something is flexible. Number 2, asking for help. In a world that often glorifies self-sufficiency, even multitasking, asking for help can be seen as a sign of vulnerability, or in my case, I used to think as a sign of weakness. However, I have learned and now firmly believe that it's a sign of strength. Asking for help is an act of self-awareness, an acknowledgement that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's about seeking support from others when you need it and recognizing that collaboration and connection are essential elements of success. And the third one, taking mental breaks. Let's now talk about one of my favorites. This is one of the most important self-care essentials that I believe should be in your non-negotiable self-care toolbox, and that is taking mental breaks. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, we often push ourselves to the limit, believing that constant productivity is the key to success. But here's the truth. Our minds need rest. Taking mental breaks isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's about stepping away from the hustle and grind, allowing your mind to recharge and returning with renewed clarity and creativity. Let me share a personal story to illustrate the importance of this self-care essential. In my journey, I used to wear my busy schedule like a badge of honor. I thought that constantly pushing myself would lead to success. I said yes to everything, often overwhelming my calendar, and my brain at times felt like it wanted to explode. But it wasn't until I started incorporating regular mental breaks into my routine that I realized the true power of self-care. These breaks allowed me to avoid burnout, to tap into my creativity, and to approach challenges with a fresh perspective. Giving myself frequent breaks allows my brain to digest, recharge, and rejuvenate so that I can get back to my day with more energy and focus. Now, why is self-care, including these essentials that I've shared with you, so crucial for our success in life and business? The answer lies in the simple truth that when we take care of ourselves, we become the best versions of ourselves. We're better equipped to tackle challenges, to navigate setbacks, and to persevere on the path to our dreams. And as I said before, not only do we benefit, but everything and everyone in our lives also reap the rewards. So as we continue our journey of dreaming big and doing bigger, remember that self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation upon which your success is built, and it's a compass that will guide you toward your most ambitious goals. Embrace self-care, my friends, for it's the lifeblood of your achievements, both in life and in business. So in closing, let's revisit the questions we started with. What does it mean to dream big and do bigger? It's about realizing that our potential knows no bounds, that our dreams are the blueprints of our future. And it's understanding that to achieve those dreams, we must embrace something often overlooked, self-care. Now, how have I done it in my business? I've learned that self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's how I've unlocked my full potential. I've achieved balance, found joy, and harnessed the energy and focus needed to thrive personally and professionally. And how can I help other women do the same? Well, I'm proud to offer a 6-week self-care program tailored for female entrepreneurs and their teams. It's designed to prioritize self-care as a non-negotiable to prevent burnout and to sustain motivation. The goal of my coaching program is clear: to empower women like you to prioritize self-care and personal growth. It's about integrating self-care practices into your professional life and cultivating a positive mindset. It's about enhancing your well-being, leadership abilities, and the health of your company culture, adopting a wellness from the inside out mentality. By guiding you to take care of yourself from the inside out, my aim is to equip you and your team with the energy, focus, and confidence needed to avoid burnout and leading your business with purpose and passion. And together we create that supportive, engaging work environment where you and your team can thrive both personally and professionally. Remember this: when you prioritize self-care, you're not just investing in yourself, you're investing in the success of your dreams, your business, and the incredible team you lead. So embrace self-care as the lifeblood of your journey and watch as you dream big and achieve even bigger. Thanks again for watching, for sharing in this incredible journey with me today. And as a parting gift, I'm going to share my screen. As a parting gift, I am going to share my screen, if I can do that real quick. And we are going to go here to sharing my screen. Here we go. Share. Here we go. Here is the QR code. So scan the code. This code is for my free self-care guide, help you to see what self-care is all about. Not just the soft self-care like mani-pedis, massages, things like that, which I include in the guide, but also some other important essentials of self-care to help support you personally and professionally. I want to say thank you again for joining me. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day and enjoy your time with the She Rises community.
Hi, everybody, and I hope you're enjoying the Dream Big, Do Bigger Summit so far, and I am extremely grateful to be here. My name is Heather Stokes. I am a business owner, a mother, a homeschooler, a podcaster, a TV host, and I wear many, many hats like most of you women do. And so the words behind me, you can't see them all, but it says, she brings others up because she knows what it's like. And that's really what I'm here to do today, is to help you realize that all those big dreams you have are possible. In fact, there's things you haven't even thought about that are possible, doable. And I hope that me and the other women in this summit today can help inspire you to really reach past even what you foresee in the future and really reach for those big, huge dreams and even push past them. You might be asking yourself, that all sounds really wonderful, Heather, but how do I do it? Well, when I look back on my life, I never thought that I would be here, and I'm nowhere near done. That's for sure. So as a child, someone would say, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we might think of different things. I know myself, I said, oh, I want to be a marine biologist because I live in Florida and I'm surrounded by water and I love all the marine life. And then I got a little older, I realized playing with dolphins wasn't really what got you paid. And marine biology was a whole lot more other things. So I thought and I started down the road to be a nurse like my mom. And halfway through nursing school, I thought, this just, it isn't it. It's not what I want to do. And I shifted gears. I went into psychology. I ended up going into forensic psychology and working for the government for 12 years. And all those 12 years, I had very exciting jobs. I had very challenging jobs. I had very different jobs. I felt like I lived several different careers in those 12 years. And although they were challenging and interesting, they still were not filling my cup. Like it just didn't mean a whole lot to me other than a whole lot of stress. Right. And it wasn't making me happy. And then I had children and I got married and I thought, okay, this is filling some cups. Maybe initially I never even thought I would have children. Marriage wasn't huge on my radar. My husband and I dated for 10 years before we got married. We both are busy with our careers, and I was living this busy, crazy career life over here, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And then being a mom meant a whole lot to me, and that was really filled with a lot of cups, but there still was something missing, and that's okay. Right? Being a wife and a mom might be important to a lot of us, but it does not mean that's the only thing that's important to us, right? So after my husband got very, very sick. He had pancreatic cancer. We're not going to go down that road today, but it changed a lot in our lives, and it changed my mindset a lot too. It made me realize that we don't know what's promised. There is no promise. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. And so what you have to do is live your life to the fullest every single day. And that's really what we've taught our children too. So my girls are not fully grown. They're only 7 and 13. So there's still a lot of momming and parenting going on, of course. But what I instill in myself now and in my girls is, what do you want to be now? Not what do you want to be when you grow up, not what do you want to be in the future, not what you want to do when you retire. What do you want to do now? And how can you make those things happen? So back in October 2022, Hannah Levis and Adriana, who are running the summit, contacted me about being in a book called Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur. And really, I was only about 3 years into my current business, Financial GPS. I run a financial services business here in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. And I have now about 5.5 years. We had run other businesses. We had limo businesses and some other services businesses with my husband, but this was my own baby, Financial GPS. And I educate women and families about having a legacy, taking control of their finances. And that's extremely important to me because of the journey I went through with my husband being sick and having to reconstruct our lives completely. So I thought to myself, well, do I know enough to be an author? Like, being an author wasn't something I had thought of before. But hey, it's the middle of the pandemic and I'll do anything right about now, right? So I wrote in a book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur. I ended up writing in the entire series because with each book came a different experience. I was connecting with people all over the world, and I was impacting lives even outside of my local community or my family, right? And that desire really filled my cup. It allowed me to impact others, right? I wasn't just helping their immediate need. I was impacting on a higher level. That led me to want to be a podcast host because I'm like, hey, people can tune in and listen as they want, because some people might need to read something, but some people need to hear something. And then when Phoenix TV started, I thought, okay, here's another avenue that I can share my word and my ability to help others. And so I become a TV host. So now they can see me, they can hear me, they can read. I can do everything I can to impact others and share my lessons and my word. So what I want you to take away from this is not, oh, how amazing Heather is that she did all this stuff. What I want you to take away from it is that if you truly want something else and you find, your cup is getting full, but there's something else missing, really look inside yourself and say, what is it? And what can I do now that can change my life and impact others in a way that would completely fill my cup? Because what you will find is while you're impacting others, you are making a huge difference. Sometimes you don't even see. In the middle of this Becoming an Unstoppable Woman book series, my daughters came to me and said, Mom, you're writing. We see how much it is changing you and you're helping others. How can we write? Can we be authors? And they decided to author and started their own children's book series. They saw me doing podcasts and TV shows. Mom, we want to do a TV show. So that's a direct correlation of impact you can have in your direct family. And so what I want to tell you for those mothers out there, those people that want to be mothers, part of building your legacy is not just how much money you can put into that bank account or that savings account or that investment plan. Although, of course, as a financial advisor, those are all great things too. It's also how can you impact your family, your children, and the people directly around you while you're impacting others. What are they going to see you do that's going to make them want to do? So what I really found was, although my business filled some more cups for me and made me feel a little better, I realized that what makes me feel the strongest and the most successful is when I do and others follow. So dream big, do bigger means to me that when I dream big and I push myself out of that comfort zone and I am impacting others, and my do is going to allow them to do more too. So it's kind of like the pay it forward, right? I'm pushing myself past where I thought I could go, or I knew I could go, or I even wanted to go. And my push past is going to impact others, sometimes directly, like I impacted and encouraged my girls just by them watching and seeing what I'm doing. And sometimes it's going to be indirectly. Maybe someone's going to read that chapter you wrote, or that book you wrote, or that blog you wrote, or that post you wrote. And some part of it's going to stick in the back of their head. And they may not even know at that minute, but later they're going to say, once I heard someone say this, and that is going to help them with a decision in their life. So if we don't speak out, if we don't share our message, if we are a secret agent for our business and don't let others know what we're doing and how we can meet their pain points and help them, then there's so many others directly around you, indirectly and globally, that aren't going to feel or have that impact that you can give. So what I say to you is everyone's voice is valuable. Everyone's opinion is valuable. If you have a dream, stop putting it aside. It doesn't have to be the perfect time. You don't have to have the perfect budget. You don't have to do it exactly the right way. Because the reality is people are going to admire you and they're going to want to be like you or even push past where you're at. And that's okay too. But what's not okay is sitting there and procrastinating and making excuses. You might ask yourself, how do I know I'm procrastinating? Well, if you're asking yourself that, you probably are. But it's that little voice in the back of your head that says, well, I really know I shouldn't eat this thing because I'm going to gain weight. Or maybe I know I shouldn't put this off, but Netflix sounds really fun right now. All those things are normal. It doesn't make you a bad person because maybe you made a choice that you know could have been better. But the difference between the movers and the shakers is they choose to get up and move and shake regardless. Believe me, some days it's hard. It's not always easy to get up and put a smile on your face and get on camera. And believe me, there's times where I'll go weeks without recording because life is just too busy. And when I'm doing that, in the back of my head, my conscience is saying, you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. And the more I put that off, the more stressed I get. So liberate yourself, liberate your conscience, Let it lead you. Listen to yourself. Trust yourself. Dreaming big means recognizing the parts of yourself that you truly want to be, where you want to be, how you want to be it, how you want to impact others, how you want to grow. Sit down and make a list. I'm not going to tell you how many things need to be on that. For some people, it's 3. For some people, it's 10. For some people, it's 27. But make a list of things you want to accomplish. When you make that list, I want you to go back and look at it, and I want you to say, what are the ones I can't live without? If I left this world tomorrow, what are the ones that I can't live without, that I'm literally going to be a lost soul haunting everyone I know because I didn't accomplish these? Those are the ones I want you to circle. Now, the ones that you circled, I want you to make a call to action. What do I have to do to accomplish the ones that I circled? What has to happen? Now, let's say for numbers, you circled 3 things. And on a single piece of paper, you're going to write at the top of it each one of those individually. And on that paper, you're going to write a list as to what actions have to happen in order to accomplish that goal. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look at all 3 of those pieces of paper, and I want you to see the one that has the shortest list of actions that have to happen for you to accomplish that goal. And I want you to do that one first, because that one is more doable. And when you accomplish that one, the other ones are going to seem easier to accomplish because you have accomplished a goal. Now, I do this with my clients too, on a completely different topic, but I have people when they talk about, oh, I have this massive amount of debt on my head, Heather, I don't think I'm ever going to be accomplished paying it off. So there's no way I can invest. There's no way I can build a future for my family. And I say, that's not true. In debt stacking, we tell people to write down all of the debt that they have. And then we look at the 3 highest and the 3 lowest, or however many they have. But we look at the lowest and we look at the highest. We start with paying off the lowest and using all that money to put it towards paying off the higher ones. It's the same thing here. You're going to take the goals you want to accomplish. The ones that are more accomplishable, we're going to knock those out right away, because that's going to give you more ambition and more fuel to accomplish those other goals. Okay? Because the reality is the pyramids were not built in one night, right? You can't eat an entire buffet at one time. It's one bite at a time. It's one step at a time. It's one block at a time. But when you accomplish a goal, that gives you that motivation, that inspiration, and that knowledge that things are doable and possible. So I hope this has been helpful. I am happy to help you on this journey of dreaming big and doing bigger, because I'm here to tell you that I'm no different than you. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, but I took a step outside of my comfort zone, and I decided to also be an author, to also be a podcaster, to also be a TV host. And no matter what else is going on in my life, I push myself, and the result has been so rewarding. It has allowed my own children to come out of their comfort zones and push themselves. I have women from all over the world that contact me and thank me for being transparent and real and guiding them. And you can have those things and more. It all starts with your first step. So I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, you want to reach out, you can always find me at getfinanciallyfit.app. That's my website. you can request a meeting, and I would be happy to help you on your journey.
Hello, everybody. I have been prepping for this speech, as I'm sure most of the speakers in this arena have been. And I've just been second guessing myself, going, okay, here's what I need to talk to. Here's what people are going to expect from me. And the reality of it is the parameters are, what does it mean to dream big, do bigger in life and business for CJ Boyd? And so that's what I want to share with you today. I came up with a couple ideas as far as what my speech was going to be. The first one was coming from the phrase hindsight is 2020. And then the other one was, I was thinking about art because I love art and painting, but what I love most is the potter's wheel and the love of clay. And then what I had was like this idea of talking about how when we're born, we are this ball of energy. We're this lump of clay essentially given to our parents and who want to shape and mold us into what they think that we should be based upon society's ideas, based upon the parameters of what they've earned in their lifetime, what their name is, what their social standing is, etc. And then I was thinking about it today, and I was trying to do the speech, and I was like, I'm just going to check that all, and I'm going to speak from my heart. But I am going to stay with the idea of hindsight being 2020. But I'm going to put my own twist on it to say hindsight may be 2020, but true expansion requires more than mere tunnel vision or laser focus. So hello, everybody. My name is CJC Boyd, and I am a wife, a mama of 7 grown children, a former cafe owner operator turned women's empowerment mentor, founder of Queen by Design coaching and mentoring program, as well as host of Awaken the Warrior on Phoenix TV. Can you see a theme running there? Awaken the Warrior, Queen by Design. So what I want to talk about is, the idea of what dream big, do bigger means to me in life and business. And I am going to go off the idea of hindsight being 2020, but I'm going to put my tweak on it as hindsight may be 2020, but true expansion requires more than mere tunnel vision or laser focus. Because when we are born, we are like literally this little glob of clay that people want to mold and shape and try to make us into what society tells us that we should be. And we jump through hoops to try and maintain those things. Most of us go to school, and we learn all these things, and we get teachers who tell us that we're good at something, and we get pastors who tell us that we should be this, and we were told all these things about who we should be as a person, as an individual, and we don't really think for ourselves. And I think on the level of hindsight, maybe 2020, is that people ingrain that in us as children because they want us to think about what's going to come out of our mouth before we say it. And I think part of that is to keep us in this little context of don't balk the system, don't go against the grain. Think hard and long before you open your mouth so that you don't offend anybody, or you don't go against what you are supposed to be or do, or what's acceptable, what's right or wrong. And I think a lot of us are in that space, and then we are told what we're supposed to be, and then that limits us. We're put in this box, in this parameter of who we're expected to be, and it stops us from living who we truly are. So I think there are 4 things that I want to talk about today. One is looking at life through the windshield, not the rearview mirror. And it's going to tie into the hindsight in a minute. The second one is gratitude. And the third one is don't be selfish. It's not about you. And the fourth one is the power of pivot. And that's how I came up with Queen by Design, because those are the 4 tenets that I use to get out of my own life story and be into the space where I am right now today. So I'm going to talk about hindsight is 2020 and the idea of living life through the windshield versus the rearview mirror. Many of us stay stuck living in the past. And you know what I'm talking about. We rehash our past over and over and over again, because we're trying to justify why we aren't where we thought we would be. We're trying to justify why our life is in the current status it's in by the past. We're basing every decision we make in our future based upon the barometer of how it's turned out in the past. And so what I want most of you to listen and hear is that the past is the past. We're not meant to live there anymore. It happened, but let's take the lessons that we've learned from that era and move forward. And then, the windshield is this wide open, big, expansive space that we can see. We can see the horizon. And if we take the time to just get out of our own head, get out of the past, and look through this huge space of the windshield, that we are unstoppable. We can absolutely do anything that we put our mind to. We can become anybody that we want to. We can do anything that we want to, and we can have this ability to step forward and be something magnificent on the planet, because we're looking forward and we're scanning the horizon about what feels good for us, what we think we want to do next. And if we stop looking at our decisions that we're making about our future based upon our past, we are wide open to dream big, do bigger in absolutely any area of our life. So that brings me to number 2, gratitude. Being in gratitude for where you've been in your past. And I know you're going, CJ, but you just said don't live in the past. There's a big difference. You don't want to stay stuck in that past, rehashing it and living it over and over and over like Groundhog Day. But you want to be grateful for everything that you've been through in your past. Think about it. Some of us have been through some crap in our lives, and we're like, I can't be grateful for that. You can be grateful for that, because that thing that's happened in your past, there's a lesson in there. There's a silver lining. You just have to be open to seeing it and then embracing that and being in gratitude that you're no longer there, but also that you have the ability to go forth and do something different and use those tools that you learned from those past experiences. You use those lessons to not do it again and not repeat that, to go forth and do something bigger and better and brighter. And then also gratitude, being in gratitude for where you are right now, being in gratitude for the fact that those past experiences have brought you to this space where you know that you want something different in your life. You know that you want to go out and do something bigger and grander than you've done ever before in your lifetime. So be in gratitude for right now. A lot of us are like worried about, oh, what am I going to do in the future? How am I going to make X amount of dollars? How am I going to get my word out? How am I going to build this, coaching program or write this book or do this thing? And we forget to really embrace this moment and be in the present moment. So think about it. If you're so worried about the future, you're not living in the now. And it's so important to live in the now, because you can really tune in to who you are as a person right now. You can really tune in and allow divine guidance to come through you. If you sit in silence and you see all the abundance that's around you, think about it. I want to take you on a little field trip. If we're living in the present moment for right now, think about it. Every inhale, every exhale, every thump that is the beating of our heart, all the birds chirping outside the window, the sunshine coming through the window, those magnificent sunrises, those glorious sunsets. If we're constantly worried about where we're headed in the next space of our life, we miss all those amazing things right now. And that's what's really important, is being in gratitude for what you've been through, where you are right now. All the magnificence and abundance that you have in your life right now is going to allow you to open yourself up to dream bigger and to experience bigger and brighter things for your future. And so that brings me to the next thing. It's not about you. So I'm going to take you on a little field trip of my life. I was married and divorced, decided I needed to be more than just a label, that society put on me. Be more than, people would ask me, who are you? And I'd be like, I'm just a wife. I'm just a mama of 7. I'm just a former cafe owner. And then it landed for me. I'm not just anything. I am not the label that somebody has put on me. I am not that label. It's not my job to live up to that expectation or that label. And I jumped into opening my own business thinking, okay, my son, my youngest child of 7, left for the Air Force. I'm not a hands-on mama anymore. I don't have that label. I don't have that identity. Who am I? My marriage of 21 years went down the crapper because of my mindset and his. And I was like, okay, I'm not a wife anymore. So I'm divorced. Oh my gosh, I don't have the label of wife anymore. Who am I? I dove into the cafe business thinking, I'm going to create this identity for myself. I'm going to have something that's just me. So I dove in and I busted my butt and I built it from the ground up, and it was amazing. And I met all these amazing people, and I was like, yay, I've arrived. I did it. I proved myself to somebody. I was always looking to prove that I was worthy and valuable outside of those other labels. But what I did was create another label for myself. I created the label of successful business owner. But what I didn't realize when pandemic came in and swooped and I had to close that, I had tied my identity to that business yet again. So when those three things were gone in the time span of 2 years, I had no idea who I was. And, for a while I laid in the corner and I wallowed in my self-pity and I was like, oh my God, I have no idea who I am. I'm 50 years old and I have no idea who I am. And I needed to come back to that little girl who's like, her imagination was like, I can do absolutely anything I want. I can be whoever I want. I can recreate my identity. I can jump off the swings and I can fly. I needed to come back to that person. And so that's where these tenets came in. And I was like, all of us have that person inside of us. It's not about being someone else or trying to strive to become someone. It's about remembering who we are. And that's how Queen by Design was born, because I was like, every one of us has that queen inside. It's up to us to tap into that inner warrior, to awaken that warrior, to open up, to be willing to accept who we are on the core level, and then be in integrity with that person and be okay with that person, be more than okay with that person, learn to love that person, learn to experience that person and expand that person on a level that we've never done before. And then I had a friend tell me, CJ, it's not about you. And I was like, what? But I have to prove myself. She said, no, you've been so laser focused. And here's where the laser focus of the hindsight's 2020, but laser focus requires more than tunnel vision. I had this tunnel vision of having to prove myself, my value and my worth, that I was living for just myself. I went from living the expectations of everybody else to living the expectation of I have to prove myself to everybody else. It's about me. Look at me. Look what I've accomplished. I'm not a failure anymore. Look what I can do. Here's the CJ, alive and large and in charge. And she said, it's not about you. And I was like, oh, man, I've been living selfishly this whole time. And so then, the pandemic came in, my cafe closed, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. So the fourth tenet is embracing the pivot. In order to dream big and do bigger in life and business, you have to be willing to not wallow in that corner, not ball yourself up in fetal position and do the woe is me, but think on a bigger level. So for me, it was like, okay, I love the cafe, but I was limited to the people that I could serve because I live in a town of 892 people. And, there's one highway that runs through and I could only serve so many people. But it's a grander scale. And I think that's the beauty of the online space, is that we can serve so many people. And when we get out of our own head, we get out of our own way, and we decide that it's not about us, and we really hone into that purpose that's inside of us and realize that we all have unique qualities. We all have unique gifts. We are put on this planet for a purpose. It's our duty to uncover that purpose. It's our duty to use that gift to help other people. And for me, it's about helping women to really come back to themselves, really take stock of where they've been, what they want to do in their lives, what they want to accomplish, and then be able to step forward. So it's about, taking back that ability to dream. It's about having this vision and this mission that's so much greater than just yourself. It's about going forth in your life and thinking about, how can I use my gift to impact this planet in a positive way? How can I use my voice, my ability to help empower other people to stand in their truth, to be willing to speak their truth, to be able to go forth and be unapologetic about who they are as a person? That's what it's all about. Dreaming big and doing bigger in life and business for me really is about empowering as many people. Every single person that comes into contact with me, I want them to be a bigger, better person and have something, a light bulb go off in their head, because they're like, oh, if CJ can do this, I can do this. And it's my job to help build you up. It's my job to help you dream bigger and expand your horizons, to embrace who you are as a woman, but then to use your gift, because each and every one of us are put on this earth with a purpose, or a purpose. With a purpose that's so much bigger than just us. And it's only when we stop thinking about it on terms of what's in it for me, and we start thinking in terms of what can I do to help impact this planet? How can I help other people expand? How can I help other people explore their gifts? That's when we really start dreaming and big and doing bigger in life and business. Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing time, and I hope you got something out of this. And it's been an honor to just be amongst you all today. Thank you.
Hi, Hannah Olivas here again. I hope you are absolutely loving this summit, Dream Big, Do Bigger. Did I mention earlier that this entire summit of women's empowerment, women's education was created just for you? If you are watching this right now, you are in the right spot. You are where you are meant to be. Also, dreaming big and doing bigger is such an important piece for all of us. We even wrote a book about it called Dream Big, Do Bigger. So I just want to encourage you today, grab that book, read it, because your life will change.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Andrea Annette. I am a two-time international best-selling author, a speaker, a nurse, a holistic practitioner, a human body specialist, and a leaky gut expert. And I help women achieve sustainable weight loss so they can feel sexy, confident, and energized in their bodies. Because you should dream big, but live bigger. If your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. A quote by Ellen Johnston Sirleaf. When I was a child growing up, my idol was Florence Nightingale. She was a woman who inspired hope, lived with integrity, and built communities, bringing better health outcomes everywhere she would go. But as a nurse on the front lines, I was able to see firsthand how our medical system is now broken. It has become one of symptom management rather than patient-focused outcomes, where financial gain now takes precedence over human life. Has advancement really taken the place of compassion, empathy, and consideration? It is my hope to help people heal from the inside out. In order to do that, I educate the public on something called leaky gut syndrome, because it's connected to all known disease processes. The best way that I can help the public is to give them the tools and the resources they need to obtain better quality health outcomes through education, resources, transparency, and regardless of finances, because I believe that all life has value and should have no value placed on it, especially not where healthcare is concerned. Everyone deserves to live a life they love in a body that supports them throughout their lifespans. I long for a day when a dollar value has less value than a human life. So how can I help? Well, if we look around today, we can see the world of our children's tomorrows are in desperate need of healing. So how can I help? Well, in my business, I help reverse disease processes by finding their pathways. But in my life, I collaborate with like-minded women who believe in and value collaboration over competition. I am both honored and humbled to be a part of She Rises Studios leadership community, who has taught me that we do not need to walk this path alone, that we can inspire others to dream big, but live even bigger. So I am Andrea, and how can I help? Thank you. Have a great day.
What if I told you that the size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them? Hey besties, I'm Michelle Mesa, also known as Coach Michelle D. I'm a mom of two beautiful girls, a two-time international best-selling author, transformation coach, marketing expert, and CEO of Luxy Coaching and Consulting. If you have big dreams brewing inside your soul, then this message is for you. But first, take a walk with me. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself in a room with all of your dreams and desires around you. Mentally scan the room from left to right. What do you see? Are your deepest desires big enough? Do they scare you a bit? Can you touch them? Can you take those dreams and make a difference in the world? Do they solve a problem? Do they inspire others? Now you can open your eyes. There are going to be so many people who'll tell you that your dreams are too big and that they're unreachable. Those people might consist of negative thoughts inside your head. Today, we're going to unpack that belief and walk through the journey in pursuit of a dream big mindset. When I began my journey in entrepreneurship in 2012 as a fashion designer, everyone told me I was crazy and that my big idea was only a pipe dream that rarely comes true. I mean, after all, I was from a small town in rural Oklahoma, not from New York or LA. I had a formal background in education, but not fashion design. The only time I'd been around any type of sewing was when I was growing up. My mom couldn't afford store-bought clothes, so she made ours. I remember all the details my mom put into my clothes. The unique buttons that she allowed me to pick out, and that was an adventure in itself. The layers of ribbon and lace and all the vibrant colors of the season. What started as a form of necessity in making my daughter's clothes ended up birthing a big dream. Here I was, a newly divorced single mom of 2 small children, venturing off into the unknown world of fashion. At first, I had no idea what I was doing, but my vision was clear. Every weekend and on my days off, I loaded up my designs into a borrowed ice chest. I searched for every craft fair, every local pop-up shop, festivals, and everything in between. I even made up a mock logo and handmade cards that I cut out of resume paper. That is so funny in itself, right? Can you imagine literally printing off handmade cards, business cards, and cutting them? That was fun. Yeah, it's little things that like that keep you humble, right? Now, some days I was so discouraged and started to question what those people had said to me about my dreams being out of reach. But there was this fire burning within me. I knew I had to make a difference in the lives of girls and make a mark in the fashion world. I knew I had a calling in it, I knew I had a talent, and I needed to utilize it. And in order to make a huge impact, I had to not only dream big, but I had to do bigger. I never envisioned myself as basic. I knew I was different from a young age. So I said to myself, hey, if I was going to utilize my talents, I wanted to go all out. Go big or go home, right? I just visualized these little girls twirling around, feeling good about themselves, almost like the transformation of a cocoon into this gorgeous, youthful butterfly. As I drifted off to sleep each night, I saw my designs on the runways. I pictured a life for myself and my girls, and it was far different than the life I was living in at the time. And a year later, my dreams came true. Not only were my designs on runways across the United States, but they ended up on international magazine covers, in bridal magazines, and even national brands picked up a couple of the lines, and so did boutiques across the globe. Did it scare me? Pfft, you bet it did. Did it stop me? Absolutely not. You see, if I was going to make this happen, I had to think big and get out of my own way. You see, the path that lies in between starting and doing is having the right mindset. Dreams without goals plus action are just dreams. It all begins with our thought process. So before we take action, we have to drown out the noise upstairs. So how did I do that? I'm glad you asked. Let's walk through how I dream big with my business, and I'll give you 4 things you can do today to activate your dream big mindset. Number 1, identify your gift and figure out how to make money doing what you're passionate about. What gets you out of bed in the morning? Number 2, write your vision down. Hang it up, plaster it all over your house, in your car, at work, in your desk, wherever you're at, on your phone, wherever you have constant access to your vision, write it down. Number 3, set SMART goals with action items tied to the vision. Your goals must be specific and trackable. And number 4, read them aloud every morning and every night. By speaking it out, you're reframing your subconscious and resetting your belief system. So let's fast forward to 2023. I'm currently on my 4th business with 2 new startups in the works. I take those 4 steps that I gave you and apply them to everything that I want to accomplish. Oh, P.S. If you haven't grabbed the Dream Big, Do Bigger book, you need to get it today. I had the privilege of co-authoring this book with some amazing powerhouse women. And in my chapter specifically, I reveal my strategy in detail about how I dream big and how I do bigger. Let's talk about vision. So my vision for my consulting company is to be the global leader in transformation and marketing through servant leadership, operational excellence, authenticity, and education. I teach entrepreneurs and women how to build 6-figure brands and how to overcome irrational beliefs and self-sabotage through self-love and self-regulation. You see, my goal is to educate and inspire others by training them how to tell their own stories in captivating digital ways that solve problems and help others along the way. So if this message resonates with you today, I'll leave you with this. Dream big and take big action. Don't allow anyone to stop you from going after your dreams, including you. Thank you.
How about we all go on a vacation? Woohoo! Are you already feeling that sun on your skin? Oh, how relaxing that could be. Feeling the wind in your hair, feeling that tropical breeze, right? Just on your skin, in your senses. Do you smell the air? Do you feel that rejuvenation just as soon as I said vacation? Because in the regular day, it can get pretty stressful. We forget how to play. We forget how to imagine anything. Would you agree? But as soon as we say vacation, we start thinking about the things that we're going to do or that we could do or that's possible to do because the possibilities are endless, which tells us that you are limitless. So in this theme of dream big and do bigger, imagine the possibilities of living your life with vacation eyes. So let me tell you a little bit more about my story. I lived with a narcissist for 20 years in my marriage. It was very toxic. And in that process, I was able to escape with my photography and take the most beautiful photos of things and places and experiences that people were wondering, where did you go? Or how did you find this? Or where exactly is this particular flower?
And I would take everyday ordinary things and turn them into extraordinary things. And we have the power of doing that. You know, even after divorce, I was at a grocery store and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like vacation, because I felt the freedom of no one calling me, texting me, hovering over me, rushing me, asking me how long I'm going to be, when I'm going to be home, anything like that. All the demands of every day, we can go away in our own mind on vacation, right? So if we have vacation eyes, what that means is that we're using 1, our imagination, 2, our creation, and 3, manifestation. And that is what manifestation is all about. It is lifting our vibration. And that's what you felt in the very beginning, right? Was that joy, that excitement, lifting our vibration so that we can be open to possibility. And we're able to be clear on the destination that we're going, the date that we're going, and everything falls into place because nothing is going to ruin our vacation. If you just dream big, that's all it is a dream. Start living by doing bigger. I am Bella Bliss, and I am a transformational and empowerment life coach. I help elevate soulpreneurs, and I help them radiate energy inwards so that they can unleash their soul fire and learn to play in the quantum playground of limitless possibilities. And I invite you to take that vision of whatever it is that you want to accomplish and live your life with vacation eyes. Use your creation, your imagination, and manifest by setting a date and working your way towards nothing ruining your vacation and having that beautiful life that you've always dreamed of. Thank you for having me. Have a beautiful, blessed day.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me here. When I was a little girl, I always wanted to do big things. Save the world, be a zoologist, be the next Madonna. I mean, who wouldn't want to be the next Madonna? I think we all wanted to do big things and had big dreams when we were little. The thing is, as we get older, oftentimes we lose those dreams or we let fear get in the way. I remember when I would set out to do something new when I was little, I would be nervous. I really, really want to do it. And then I'd be so nervous. And my dad would say, Angela, we all feel butterflies in our stomach. If you don't feel at least a few butterflies, it means you've lost your edge. You don't care anymore. And that really stuck with me. So my name is Angela Bell, and I am a mompreneur success coach and women's wealth advocate. I'm the founder of the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur and the Mom Magic Anthology series. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what it means to me to dream big and do bigger. So when I started the Mom Magic Anthology series, one of the many books that I have published and am now a 5 times international best-selling author, I started it with a purpose, and it wasn't to make a lot of money, although that's nice. It was set out to change the narrative around motherhood and showcase all the amazing things that moms do and prove to the world that there's no such thing as just a mom. When I was releasing my first one, I had to push the date out 3 times while I figured out how to properly communicate my vision with other authors. Here's the thing, that didn't matter, right? When we set out to do big things, when we set out to live our purpose, there's going to be bumps along the way. We just have to stick with it. We have to know that our vision, our mission is bigger than the bumps and bruises. It's bigger than, potential judgment from others or the potential that we might fail. Because here's the thing in life, we always are going to fail at some point, right? And the real failure is if we never have the courage to try and we live a life never having brought our dreams to reality. I am committed to living a life without regret. And that is why I take these big chances and I try to do these things that seem so much bigger than me, right? To me, dreaming big and doing bigger means trying to change the narrative around motherhood and telling everyone that there's no such thing as just a mom, even if it doesn't work. It means creating a platform for moms to share their stories with the world, regardless of how many people buy my books, attend my workshops, or sign up for my courses. And it means showing up each and every day for my vision, even when I'm scared, even when I'm tired, and even when I feel like I'm not enough, right? We all have those feelings. And to dream big and do bigger, it means that we have to keep our vision clear. We have to stay the course, even when it seems impossible. And we have to follow that small, quiet voice inside of our hearts that says, but what if we can? And what if it works? Here's what I know. Each and every one of you are capable of amazing things. And if you are here today, it is because you have a big dream and you can fulfill those dreams and do even bigger. You just have to believe it's possible. And if you can believe it's possible and you can keep your vision in your head, then you can achieve your dreams and even more. So stay true to yourself, hang on to what matters to you, and regardless of what other people say, stay true to your dreams. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you all are having an amazing time attending this summit. And remember to dream big and always do bigger. My name is Angela Bell, and it has been a pleasure speaking to you today.
Crystal Casey here, coming to you all the way from the West Coast. And today we are talking about dreaming big and doing bigger. So, what does it mean to dream big? Well, that depends. It means different things to different people at different stages of life, right? So, for me, dreaming big has been a driving force behind my own journey of healing and empowerment. When I was a little girl, dreaming big meant picturing a life outside of the abuse I experienced at home. It meant holding on to a vision for a future that was brighter than the darkness that surrounded me. It was a dream that kept me going, that pushed me to believe that there was more to life than what I was experiencing. As I grew older, dreaming big took on new forms. It meant setting ambitious goals, like being the first in my family to graduate from college. It meant taking risks, pushing the boundaries, stepping outside of my comfort zone, and pursuing my passions to make a difference in the world. And when I got married, dreaming big was about envisioning a future with my husband. It was seeing us growing old together and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. But when I lost him, dreaming big took on a whole new meaning. It meant just getting back up again, to keep dreaming, despite the heartache and the setbacks. It meant allowing myself to see a life of vibrancy and passion and pleasure, even without him. Throughout my journey, I've learned that dreaming big is just the beginning. The real magic happens when we take action and do bigger. It's not enough just to have the dreams. We need to be willing to put in the effort and to take the steps necessary to turn those dreams into reality. As the founder of Flight of the Phoenix, a women's empowerment collective, I've had the opportunity to pursue my dreams and to do bigger. From opening a women's wellness center to traveling and then moving my kids across the country, I've learned that the results are in the doing. Doing isn't always easy. In fact, it's usually really hard. It requires courage, persistence, perseverance, and that willingness to take risks. It means pushing past the fear and the doubt and being willing to embrace failure as a stepping stone toward success. It means being resilient in the face of challenges and never, ever giving up on our dreams. In both life and in business, dreaming big and doing bigger go hand in hand. It's about setting those bold goals, creating that vision for the future, and then taking the action to make it happen. Dreaming big and doing bigger is not just about achieving that success for ourselves, but it's about making a positive impact on those around us and about leaving a legacy that inspires future generations. It's about being a role model, a trailblazer, a change maker. It's about being relentless in our pursuit of our dreams and never settling for mediocrity. So I encourage each and every one of you to dream big and do bigger. Believe in your potential. Embrace your passions and take action toward your goals. Surround yourself with a supportive community that lifts you up and empowers you to keep going even when the road gets rough. Remember, life is too short to play small. It's time to break free from limiting beliefs, from obstacles, and it's time to create a life and a business that exceeds your wildest dreams. Dream big, do bigger, and watch as your life and your business soar to new heights.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea Hunt, and I'm the founder of Living Deliberately Today, personal empowerment coaching for a better life. And I'm based in Munich, Germany. I help women break free from their comfort zones to overcome confidence blocks and self-sabotage so that they can live the life they know they deserve. To me, dreaming bigger means asking yourself, instead of what if I fail? It means asking ourselves, if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? In my own life, dreaming bigger has meant taking risks, succeeding, failing, thriving, and learning from that process to keep challenging myself, even when it scares me. And in fact, it's taken me around the world to living and working in faraway places I could never have imagined, like China, Italy, and Argentina, to now having a career in Germany, where I can live my purpose through motivating others to dream bigger and take their lives to the next level. So today, I want to share with you 3 tips that have helped me along the way when it comes to dreaming bigger. The first one is get control of your emotional health. This is so important because we're not capable of risk or emotional resilience if we're burned out, ignoring our self-care, or not prioritizing ourselves. And we can react to the same situation of stepping out of our comfort zone with hope, excitement, and anticipation when we're in a healthy emotional state. And when we're not, we can be stressed, fearful, and we can tend to hide away or be overcome with worry, anxiety, or self-defeat. The second thing is be intentional in your purpose. This is when we ask ourselves for the motivation and the why behind what we're doing. What do we want our bigger impact to be? Are we forcing ourselves with our, I should do that, or I should be this, or will I be enough when I do this?
Or are we coming from a bigger motivation that's aligned with who we are and our values and purpose instead of what everyone else thinks we should be? The third thing is challenge your beliefs. So when we self-sabotage, a lot of times it's because the body has gone into what we call fight, flight, or freeze response. When we have a lot of limiting beliefs, insecurities, negative self-talk, perfectionism, or imposter syndrome that can both hold us back in fear from what we want to do, or it can make us feel unworthy even when we do reach our goals. This is where EFT tapping comes in, because if we use it to regulate our nervous system, when we have these fears, worries, and self-judgments that come up, we can actually manage our emotions better. And by doing this, we can manage our fears every step of the way to allow ourselves to create bits of proof, bit by bit, that we can do this and that we can move forward. So, of course, there's no such thing as overnight success, and we're all going to struggle. We're all going to have challenges and fail forward along the way, finding what works, where we need to adjust, and how to stay the course towards our dreams, even when we might not have an exact roadmap. But if we remember to take care of ourselves and our emotional health and get crystal clear on our intentions and purpose and manage those fears and limiting beliefs, so that we can keep creating that self-validating evidence that we can keep moving forward, we can be pleasantly surprised by what we can accomplish. I want to leave you with a quote by Mel Robbins, who says that confidence is created by the small things you do every single day that build trust in yourself. My hope is that you take my 3 tips and apply them to your own life and what you want to achieve to dream bigger, so that you can master the art of living deliberately. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Samantha Shepard. I am the owner and founder of Samantha Shepard Consulting, which is a marketing firm specializing in working with entrepreneurs to help them to learn and implement the right strategies for their business so they can save a lot of time, money, and stress less. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, and to be honest with you, it completely happened by accident. I was a naive 22-year-old girl who was drowning in student loan debt, just got out of college, and realized I had to do something different. I was presented an opportunity to learn from a professional business mentor that was going to teach me the world of business, because I didn't grow up knowing any entrepreneurs and couldn't even spell it at that point, but I was willing to try. I was willing to rip off the lid on the opportunities that were ahead of me based on what I was or wasn't exposed to in my past. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is ripping off the lid, because too many times we allow our past to dictate our future based on what blueprints we were exposed to growing up. Now, let me explain that a little bit more. The blueprints of our life, the blueprints of our childhood, oftentimes form and develop the way that we think, act, and the behaviors that we have as an adult. As an entrepreneur, a lot of times we are given opportunities that can be impacted or affected by what we were exposed to in our younger life. So today we're going to talk about how to stop limiting your opportunities, and by really looking at that blueprint to discover, is that something I want to duplicate, or is it something I want to change? Because today we have to stop. We have to stop being our own worst enemy. We have to stop letting what we do or don't know affect what tomorrow brings, because all of us sitting in our chairs had no experience on our first day. Too many times we let our fears stunt our growth. We let our unknowns kind of halter where we're going to go next. And you know what? We all had to start somewhere. Every single person that you are around that's an entrepreneur had these same feelings. The difference is what they did with those feelings. Did they allow those feelings of fear and inadequacies to dictate and stop them from moving forward? Or did they use it as fuel to allow them to grow? Because many of us are being paralyzed by overanalyzing, well, everything. I was guilty of that in the past, and sometimes I still do it. This is one of the biggest things that we really have to really look at, to really examine, to see, is our own fears paralyzing us from being able to grow?
In order to grow and expand and have true impact, we have to deal with ourselves first. Yes, you're going to have to deal with the person in the mirror and really, really have kind of a gut check conversation with yourself. Facing our own weaknesses is probably one of the hardest things that we ever have to do in our lives, especially as leaders and experts in our field, because we are all experts in something. And on that continual journey to getting better every single day, we want to dream big, we want to do bigger, but are we our own worst enemy? As I mentioned, I was a complete accidental entrepreneur. I had no experience, didn't have any idea what I was doing, if I'm completely honest with you. But I knew something had to change because I didn't want to worry and stress about finances the way my parents did. But they taught me how to work hard. They taught me how to always focus on the positive, to focus forward, not look backward. But they also taught me the value of learning from our past. And then making a decision, are we going to allow that to continue or are we going to change it? And many times as entrepreneurs, our mindset in our adulthood usually is affected by our mindset that we were trained and what we learned as children. You know, I was determined to really make a change. I'm sure you are too. Maybe you haven't reached all the goals you wanted to hit yet. Maybe you've got a huge vision board that has a lot of things that you still want to cross off. And one of the biggest reasons why a lot of those things aren't happening faster is because we're keeping the lid on our own opportunity because we're allowing our past blueprint of exposures and experiences to limit us. So when I jumped into this journey as an entrepreneur, was I scared? Yeah. Was I completely uneducated? Absolutely. But was I willing to try? Yes. You see, we have to have a gut check conversation sometimes and really decide, are we going to allow, what are we going to allow to impact tomorrow? Basically. So the reason I bring all this up is not to convict any of us and make us feel bad, but it's to make you realize that you're not alone. If you're having any of those questions or insecurities, trust me, you can probably find 100 other entrepreneurs who feel the exact same way, because too many of us think that if we fail, that means that we're a failure. And as you probably have experienced, it is impossible to have success without failure. The two are bonded together. I mean, let's think about it. Would we really appreciate our successes as much if we never failed on the way to get there? I know we learn more through our failures. We learn and grow faster by hitting a brick wall, falling down, and then getting back up and figuring out another way around it. You know, if we only knew success, we wouldn't have as many learning and growing opportunities as we do now. So how do we change it? How do we look at that blueprint that could be limiting our opportunities and capping that lid on our growth? So here's a few things I want you to consider as I close today. One, acknowledge that there is a blueprint. Acknowledge that the things that you have learned, the things you were exposed to, the things you heard and witnessed in your whole life prior to this have impacted where you are today. Good, bad, and different, they've impacted that. Number two, decide, is that a blueprint that you want to continue and duplicate, or is it something you want to change? And number three, if it's something you want to change, you have to create an action plan to make the change. The first thing is recognize the behaviors and thoughts that have to be changed. That's probably the hardest one, because that means having a real honest conversation with yourself. And if you can't really figure it out, talk to someone trusted in your life, a truth teller that will give it to you straight and help you recognize areas of opportunity and growth for you. Seek out tools, seek out mentors and resources that are going to allow you to create the blueprint, to create the life and the success that you want. Find people that you really can trust, that really have your best interest at heart. And the last one is the hardest one. You have to make the action happen. You actually have to move forward to change your blueprint. So I really am so thankful I was able to have this time to talk to you today. I hope it gave you an idea and a little glimpse into that sometimes we are our own worst enemies. Sometimes we have to get out of our own way in order to move forward, but that you're not the only one that's experienced that. Every single entrepreneur has. So today, my encouragement is this: take a look in the mirror, love yourself for who you are today, and decide what you want tomorrow to look like. Because in order to have true impact on tomorrow, It starts with ourselves. Thank you so much.
I'm Kyla Biederman, and I'm coming at you from the other side of America in California. I'm so honored to be here. I hope you're learning so much and you're going to leave here and really dream big and do bigger. I'm also honored to be a part of this collective of women and to share with you today what I think the key to dreaming big and doing bigger is. It's one word: change. No matter where we are in life, our business, dreaming big and doing bigger, in order to reach our next obstacle or the next goal or milestone that we have set for ourselves, usually it involves making some change or for some change to happen for us to get there. My motto in life is always learning, always growing, always changing. Being in a growth mindset means that we believe that we can develop or change our talents and abilities through hard work, persistence, and dedication. Learning is defined as a relatively permanent change in behavior. And the best example I like to use for that is touching a hot stove. Once we've touched it and learned that it's hot, we're going to change our behavior in the future when it comes to touching hot stoves. We're not going to touch them. Learning and growing are tools though, and they inform us and sort of guide us on our way to making change. The one thing about change though is that often we see it more as a problem instead of an opportunity to make change. And I'll give you a personal example. I had to apply 3 different times to finally get my LLC approved. And between the second and the third time, the issue was the name that I was putting up there was a little bit too similar to another business. And so I had to, whether I wanted to or not, I had to change that name. And what I ended up doing is I took some time to really think about it. I was introduced to some people who were able to give me really great insight on how to really pick a future name. And that's because I had begun to change my environment and put myself in a place where I was around like-minded people and people that could help me and guide me in the right direction. So while I saw it as a problem and not an opportunity, what really ended up happening is it forced me to regroup, restart, and eventually reapply, and it got approved. The third time, Legacy Women Affiliates was established January 1st, 2023. And it was definitely worth every change and no and obstacle that I had to go through to get to where I'm at now. So to wrap up, I just want to remind you that problems are not problems. Problems are opportunities to make change, and through change, we can truly discover who we are and what we're capable of achieving when we dream big and do bigger. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Dream Big, Do Bigger Summit by the She Rises Studios. I'm Jana Janeva, a chairwoman of the British Psychological Society in Scotland, a psychologist, a business owner and owner of the first psychology subscription box for women, a speaker and an author. And I'm here to talk to you about dreams and actions. Now, as a psychologist, I always dig deeper into the old dusty books, and I try to make sense and connection of patterns and behaviors and try to help people to remove them and change those things. But today I want to talk to you, about your days, your actions, and your dreams. Now, what is a dream? Okay, let's first start from here. What is a dream? A dream is an illusion. It's something that pops up in your head, but it's something unique. It's something that's been put in there out of the collective consciousness that you have experienced, out of the traditions, the culture, the country you're coming from, the type of family you grew up at, education, the streets you grew up, everything. That's a dream. It's literally nothing else but an illusion. But those dreams that you create in your own mind are leaving a fingerprint or a blueprint in your emotions. And your emotions are creating a state for your body and for your existence that is an emotional state. So you know very well that thoughts are the language of the brain and emotions are the language of the body. So whatever you project in your mind, no matter if it's a dream or a fear, it's all illusion. The blueprint that you're living in your body, in your emotions, is the thing that will go out and will come back and hit you in your face. So let's talk about dreams and actions. You can keep dreaming as much as you want. You can daydream. Think about the last time you were doing yoga, or you were meditating, or you were running on the street, or you were taking your kids to school. This is all dreaming, okay? Throughout those moments, you're thinking about things. And while you're thinking, your emotional state of being is connecting you with the similar things and people and experiences. No matter if you understand it or not, no matter if you know about it or not, this is what's happening. This is the process behind. So what happens after you suppress those dreams on your emotional state is basically your day will be transformed based on what you dreamt about and what kind of emotions you suppressed. So, for example, let's say you're driving your kids to school and you are worried about traffic, you're getting late for work, you have a busy morning, you're running for a meeting, and your emotional state immediately goes into a hyperactive level of worriness, stress. The hormone of stress, cortisol, is extremely high, and then your entire day will be a reflection of that. This came from a simple dream, okay? No matter if you call it dream or fear, it's exactly the same. It's illusion. So let's think, for example, about your yoga, okay? You're going to your yoga or Pilates, and you're in a complete Zen state. You're listening to this amazing melody. You can feel your entire body. Every single cell of your body is relaxed. So what happens with your emotional blueprint? Well, your emotions become so balanced. There is no stress, there is no hyperactivity, there is no worry, but at the same time, there is no excitement, there is no happiness, there is no love, there is no expectations. You're just balanced. And this is what's going to happen for the rest of the day. You're going to be extremely calm. You're going to be extremely well behaved. Nothing's going to take you out of your comfort zone. So you see, what you dream about, what you fear, it's exactly the same. We just gave them those words so you can separate the emotional feeling, so you can explain the emotional blueprint after that. But they're exactly the same. They're illusions. So next time, when you're in that position, when you're in that condition, don't think about, oh, I'm just dreaming, oh, I'm just being fearful. Pay attention to your emotional state. Is it worry with high level of cortisol? Because that means you're projecting the illusion of fear. Or is it balanced excitement, love, expectation, happiness? Because that's the other one. That's the hormone of happiness. Or that's you being in a complete balanced state. And this is what you should be looking for. That balance will give you everything you're looking to receive. So I hope that helped and it gave you some idea about the psychology behind dreaming and doing, fear and action, and what actually this means. So next time you're in that situation, remember those words and just make yourself a little experiment and you'll see what I'm talking about. Stay until the end, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the amazing speakers we have on this summit. Enjoy! Bye!
Hey everyone, I am Samantha Lander, and I am a functional diagnostic nutritionist, which is a fancy word for I help women get to the root cause of their stubborn health goals. So you're trying to lose weight and you can't, you feel like crap all the time, you're bloated, you're constipated, you have brain fog, you just like, it doesn't matter what you do, you can eat clean and you almost like gain weight, or you work out all the time and nothing is changing and it's super frustrating. So that's what I help navigate with women, and I help educate them, and I do very specialty lab testing to help them figure out their health and wellness goals. So when it comes to your business and dreaming big and doing the things you need to do to be successful, health is a massive component of it. And a lot of times when we open a business, we sacrifice that completely. So I just want to make sure that you know that it's not selfish to take care of your health and wellness, and that it's very, very important, and your business will suffer. So if you are exhausted, you have brain fog, you can't remember appointments, you're not on for your family, your stomach is messed up, you have to cancel appointments because you don't feel good. You wake up every day and you're just sort of like instantly, you have that cortisol response where you're stressed out because you feel like your pants don't fit right and things are off. You're constipated, whatever it is, that's going to impact how you project yourself in your business. So it's huge. I was lucky enough that when I started to really focus in on my business, I was in the health and wellness industry. I was a personal trainer, and so it was really important to me, and I got to live that life. Not everybody gets to do that. So some tools that I suggest for my clients are to set goals. So have health and wellness goals. It doesn't matter if they're so big you may fail, but if you fail, you're going to learn something from it, right? So some easy little hacks is like you can do castor oil packs while you're working or at night. You can get on a biomat at night. You can, ask for help from a trainer or your husband or your family and say, I need this hour every single day to take care of my health and wellness so I'm better for you. It's not selfish, guys. It's not selfish. It's not rude. You are going to be a better person. You're going to do better in every aspect of your life if you're taking that time for yourself. Some days I got to get up at 4:30 to get it done. Schedule it out, okay? Create a schedule. If you need to hire a trainer, if you need to hire an accountability coach, do it, all right? Seek out, there's so many things on YouTube or online that you can find that, workouts that you can just do at home. There's really no excuse at this point that you shouldn't be moving your body and attempting to eat as clean as you possibly can and not beating yourself up when you fall off the wagon, okay? So your diet plays a massive role in this. If you're eating inflammatory foods or foods that can cause you to not function at the highest level that you need to run a business, that is a major player. So that's a big thing that I do, that I help women. We do especially lab testing to figure out what foods are very specifically good for their body and then ones that are inflammatory. Sort of like the elimination diet, but without the guessing game. So that is a huge thing. It's like to schedule it out. Don't be afraid to have big goals, little goals. Start small, slowly build up, create a schedule. If you're running a business, you probably know how to be organized and create a schedule. Do it. Do it with everything in your life. It'll make it so much easier. Stick to it. I know sometimes you don't want to get up early in the morning, but when you're done, you're going to love it. Like I had to sign up to do a cold plunge series with a group this week because I knew I wouldn't do it myself, and it's something that my body needs. So it's fine. Even I need people to help me get things done. And just remember that it's not selfish at all. So you are not a selfish person because you want to be healthy. A lot of moms struggle with this concept, and it's just not, taking the money and the time and making that investment is not selfish. It's usually short term if you hire a really good coach, and then you learn how to do it on your own. Again, poor health will impact how you function in your business. I don't want to hire a practitioner that eats shit and doesn't feel great and doesn't work out. I mean, they don't align with my goals and they're not doing it. So why would I hire them? So that's just one example. Why would I hire a coach that's not taking care of all aspects of their life and, having non-toxic people and things and attitude about everything in their life. You know, we all slip. I'm pretty realistic. I tell my clients, you know, I still like to have a cheat meal, but that's okay. But I have the tools set up to make an easy comeback and know that it's okay and not beat myself up. Remember that, you know, setting big goals, if it doesn't happen in a year, it's okay. You fail, you learn from it. That's growth. You always need to be growing and not just staying stagnant and satisfied, or you're gonna pretty much, that's like dying in my mind. One last tip is create a vision board. It's really important. Put it in your shower. That's where I have mine. Glass doors help. Put it on your bathroom mirror, somewhere you will actually see it, in front of your fridge, anything like that. Put Post-its, notes, whatever you got to do, and set up that schedule, okay? Don't be afraid to have really big health and wellness goals. I promise you, it's such a major player, and people discount it all the time because, well, I got to work at the grind. I got to stay up all night. It's what you have to do to be successful in a business. Well, it actually doesn't. You know, I usually end my day around 3 or 4 because I got to get my kid, but you know, I still manage to get it all done. You have, your set hours. If you know you need to get sleep, go to bed at 8. It's not going to make you a better business owner if you are up until 3 a.m. working. I promise you will sacrifice a lot and your health. So I hope that helps. And if you want to reach out, I would love to set up a free discovery call and do that. You can find me, Samantha Lander, or cfitpt.com, SEEFIT, or CFit Living. I have a lot of great health tips on Instagram, SEEFIT, and then living. Hope that helps.
Hello, Phoenix TV, and hello, world. My name is Julianne Williams. I am a certified grief educator, healthcare consultant, speaker, and author. I help people and businesses find ways to move past obstacles for the best outcomes ever. So today I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about how I dream big and do bigger. Now I'm going to get serious for just a moment because the way that I had to get to learning how to dream big and do bigger only came from having struggles. So think of this. I'm standing in a church and I'm looking at a casket, and he wasn't there. I mean, he was physically there, but he wasn't there. I was looking at my husband. I didn't want to leave. I couldn't imagine them closing the lid, but yet I was being dragged by my parents because it was time to make a new beginning. He was 38 and my children were 7 and 3. And that was the moment that every dream that I ever had felt shattered. Now, it didn't start there in my life, but that certainly is probably the most difficult thing I've had to overcome. I was born with some very significant health issues, with a congenital heart defect that required surgery. And I was told that there were things about my life that would never be normal, that I would never have children, that I would never be able to exercise strenuously, that I would not be full of life, that my life was defined by the way I was born. And I'm sharing this because I wanted you to understand that I have had many challenges. And for my life, I've spent most of it fighting for my life. And some of those things have been emotional, but some of those have been just physically fighting to be alive. And through that, I had to learn that I could dream bigger than what I thought was in my present time. So when we dream big, we are striving to achieve our aspirations even when life doesn't go our way, because it doesn't. And for us to do that, we have to have a combination of mindset, determination, adaptability, and planning. And I'm going to give you a couple of the things that I use around how I can meet and beat my dreams in challenging circumstances. So first of all, you have to maintain a positive mindset. You have to know that what is happening right now is an opportunity, even when it's terrible. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to do something different. We know that the opportunity is part of the journey that will get us to where we are supposed to be. We also have to reflect and learn and understand that our past circumstances are not what is meant to be for our future. We do have to extract lessons, though, and understand what our part was in something not turning out the way we wanted, so that then we can throw that dream out there, and not only can we meet that dream, but we can do more. You have to set clear goals. I had to set a goal after my husband passed away that I would even get out of bed. That was hard. And then I had to set the goal that I'd get out of bed every day. And then I had to find a time, and I'd have to keep working towards that. And I had to meet that goal. When I decided I wanted to run half marathons after I was told that I would never, ever be able to exercise strenuously, I had to set a goal. And sometimes that was that I'd walk a half mile, I'd run a mile, I'd run then walk a mile and a half, whatever it took. But I had to set goals. They had to be measurable, and I had to know exactly what I was going to do next so that I could achieve my dream. Importantly, I also had to visualize my dream. I had to visualize a happy family. I had to visualize my children, who are now 26 and 22 in one day, that they would be happy, that there would be a life for them that was beyond what was happening at the moment. I had to visualize them laughing, me feeling joyful. When I wanted to run half marathons, I had to visualize crossing the finish line, putting that medal over my neck and taking a picture. And it happened, but I had to visualize it and be very clear about what it was I wanted. Within that, what I alluded to is you have to develop a strong plan. I knew that I had to make changes. I knew that if I wanted to achieve the goal of running 13 miles, it wouldn't happen just in one day. But I had to set that plan, and I had to develop a plan that said 5 days a week, this is what I was going to do. And then I had to activate that plan. With that, you have to be persistent and resilient. And resilience is not something that's natural. It is something we learn. And so I share with you my acronym HOPE, which is how I always think about, am I being resilient? And it's H is for heed, O is for opportunity, P is for purpose, and E is for execute. And when I'm trying to decide if I need to take the step towards resilience, or am I being resilient, or how do I get resilient, I think H, heed, stop, know what I want. O, remember, no matter what's happening, it's an opportunity, even if it's hard. P, I have a purpose. There's a reason I'm here. God put me here, and only me, to do a certain job. And then E, execute, which is what am I going to do now? And when I continue to go through those steps, then I just keep moving forward. And resilience is about adapting and finding a way, even when we're under extreme pressure. Seek inspiration and mentorship. The way that I was able to take those dreams and to dream and then to realize I could do more is because I had people in my life that inspired me and people in my life who pushed me. And so I implore you, just like you are today, you're seeking that inspiration. Seek someone who will push you to more than you thought you could do, because they will help you raise that bar. They will help you find that goal. They will help you understand that even if today didn't work out the way that you planned, tomorrow will. Network and collaborate. It's very important, especially for women. It is amazing how much you will learn from other women. And to remember that we're not in competition. Men are very astute and understand that they can help one another and be successful at the same time. Women, we need to do that. We need to help one another. We need to talk to one another. We need to find how we can uplift one another. That is part of how we will all achieve our dreams, because it's possible for all of us to achieve our dreams together. When you understand that you're not an island, you're not on your own, and that there are people that can and will help you, and that you can and will help other people, your dreams become right within reach. The other thing that you have to do that is so hard is to take action consistently. I talked about that when I said I had to get out of bed every day after my husband passed away. And I knew that I had to, but it was consistent. I had to get out of bed every day. When I wanted to run half marathons, I had to consistently exercise. I couldn't run a mile today and think I would run 5 miles tomorrow. I had to make a plan and consistently make the difference physically. So just know that nothing happens in a day, that every day we make one step, and that consistency is what makes the difference. It's not about a one-time action. It's all about taking those steps over and over again. The other thing is to celebrate milestones, because sometimes we forget how far we've come. And so just like when I'm training to run, it was great. I finally hit 5 miles. I knew I still had to run 8 more after that at some point, but I could celebrate that milestone of making it 5 miles, which for me physically was a really, really big accomplishment with the limitations that I had. And so celebrate that while that may not be exactly where you want to be, it's another step closer, and it's still better than where you were. The last thing is to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in you, nobody else will. You were put on this earth for a purpose. It says it in Ephesians 2:10. And I'm going to remind you of that today, that God made you. He made you, and he made you well prepared for everything that has been put in front of you. And to know that confidence that just the way you are is good enough. It's more than enough. Believe in you. Know that the abilities, skills, and talents that you have were placed on the earth just because it was you who needed to come and bring them. So last, remember, dreaming big is just the beginning. Acting on those dreams and persevering through challenges is where the magic happens. It's just that next step, and you feel that magic. So stay committed, stay focused, and keep pushing towards your dreams, regardless of the obstacles you face. I promise you can dream big and do bigger. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I am Erin Sykes. I am the Chief Economist of Nest Seekers International, which is one of the world's largest independently owned brokerage firms. We service really high net worth areas like the Hamptons, New York City, Palm Beach, Monaco, Seoul, Korea, London, etc. And the reason I'm here today is to help you learn how to build wealth through home ownership. And historically, home ownership has been the #1 wealth builder in America. It far surpasses owning equities in the stock market or pretty much any other investment you can make. It really comes down to thinking long term, and the appreciation of houses in the United States has been pretty consistent ever since we started tracking the metric. So I know there's a lot of confusion right now because, of course, mortgage rates have gone up significantly. They're double from where we were about a year and a half ago. But if you look at the history since we started tracking the 30-year rate, right after we came off the gold standard in the 70s, the historic average rate is about 7.77%. That's over the course of 50 years. So we're right there. And that means you've got a 50% chance of having a higher rate historically and a 50% chance of having a lower rate. And granted, there's a lot of nuances to that. So take it with a grain of salt. But the most important thing I'm trying to put through here is that when you take on a mortgage, you are investing for the long term. You're investing in yourself, versus if you are paying rent at the top of your affordability bracket, you will have a very challenging time saving for that initial down payment. And you might have the same outflows every month. That you might be paying a $3,000 mortgage, or you might be paying $3,000 in rent. It doesn't matter. But when you have it in the form of a mortgage, you know it's going towards your long term. So in order to begin the home buying process, which I think is pretty overwhelming for a lot of people, there are a few things that you need to take a look at internally, as well as work with trusted advisors. And first thing you can start by doing is looking for different agents in your area. Not all agents are created equal. So you really want to take time to do your homework on their knowledge of the area where you're shopping, or if you are fluctuating between multiple potential areas where you want to move, maybe you need a couple different agents, which creates its own set of challenges. Coming from my agent hat, it is difficult sometimes to draw those lines. So you really want to dial into where do you want to be, and then ideally find one single agent who really knows that area and is also financially savvy, has good resources for you, like a mortgage broker, insurance broker, and inspectors, all the different steps along the way that oftentimes first-time buyers kind of get stuck, and they don't realize that you're supposed to order an inspection during that first 10 to 15 day contingency period. So then they're stuck with a hard contract and no real options left. So first is find your agent. Second is really look at what you can afford, and that might have changed from a year or two ago. Speak to that agent and ask them for mortgage broker recommendations. And you can find out based on your budget, based on your income, based on your credit score, and even your geography, what your inputs into your 30-year or maybe a 15-year or 10-year mortgage would be. And then you can kind of backtrack into what exactly you can afford. So meet with at least 3 different mortgage brokers. You can kind of play them against each other, and maybe you'll get a little bit lower rate if they know they have some competition. So don't be afraid of that. If you are a veteran or have other qualifications, you might get special rates. So make sure you go through those items as well. Then this is the not fun part. Once you're pre-approved, that pre-approval typically lasts about 2 months. So you have 2 months to shop with that fixed rate. So even if the averages across the country of rates go up, if you will have a locked in rate for about 2 months from your mortgage broker. So you can have an idea of exactly what your monthly payments would be. Now, granted, sometimes it takes more than 2 months to find exactly the right property for you. And in that case, that rate might expire and you'd have to get another lock-in. Now, that lock-in might be the same. It might be higher. It might be lower. So we don't, necessarily want to run that risk. It's great if it's lower, but lock it in today, because then you 100% know what you're working with. And if rates go down, then that's just a bonus for you, and you can then lock in that rate as well. So find your agent, lock in your rate, make sure you're shopping the brokers, and then start looking for your home. Once you find one that you think fits the bill, once you put it into contract, what you can expect is to need 5 to 10% cash within 3 days to go into contract. So you'll sign the documents, the seller will sign the documents, and then you're expected to send an escrow deposit. Sometimes it can be up to 20%, but just know 5 to 10% is pretty much standard across the country. That goes into an escrow holder's account. And it is different than the total 20% deposit that you need when you are taking out a mortgage. So if you put 5% into escrow, that means you only need to satisfy 15% of a down payment for a standard mortgage. So combined down payment is about 20%. Depending on your exact mortgage situation, but you will need at least 5 to 10% within 3 days of the contract, and then you have time for the other percentage once you finalize your mortgage details. So then you have the inspection period, and make sure that when you sign the contract, there is an inspection period. This is called a contingency, where you can pull out without penalty. So if you get 5-10 days into the contract, you have a 15-day inspection, as an example, then the inspector comes back with a report saying that you need a new roof and a new HVAC system, etc. Then you can take that report to the seller and say, hey, I need a credit for X number of dollars. The status of the roof and the air conditioning was far different than was advertised. Now, that seller has the option to say, take it or leave it. I'm not giving any credits, in which case you have a decision to make. Are you ready to invest in that home? Or they can work out an amendable number between the two different agents representing the seller and the buyer. So during, the heat of the market, basically people were doing transactions without this inspection contingency period. And it helps to eliminate that when you're going into a potential bidding war or a property is really hot. But in a standard balanced market, you will have an inspection period. So talk with your agent and make sure you discuss that before anybody draws up a contract. Now, once you're finished with the inspection period, then the contract is considered hard, which means that you can't back out. You're going to go through with it. There might be a financing contingency saying that you are awaiting a status on your loan, but there's other details to that finance contingency that might be case-by-case basis. So just consider a contract hard after the inspection period, and then the nuances with your loan contingency discuss with your mortgage broker. When it comes to closing, if you're taking a loan, there will be far more paperwork that will need to be notarized and signed in relation to that loan. And then if you're buying cash, it's a little bit more simple process. Depending on what state you're in, they could potentially do this remote or send you a mobile notary, or you would have to be there in person. So again, that's a case-by-case basis. But normally, if you're taking a loan, you're going to need to wet sign, so physically sign documents in front of a notary, but find out if that notary could be a mobile one. So if you're living in Wisconsin and buying in Texas, there can be a mobile notary that watches you sign and signs off on all those loan documents as well. So once you close on a house, then the next is, really the fun part, where you start to decorate and perhaps do fixer-upper repairs and whatnot. But the process to get there can be a bit tedious. It's slightly different if you are going through a new home builder, which has actually been a really great option. So if you look at the resale market, the MLS listed properties, that's what we typically start with as buyers. That basically follows the process that I just reviewed. Now, if you're buying directly from a large home builder like Lennar or Toll Brothers, then you still have that inspection contingency period, but the contract is going to likely stay hard or be hard right away. So yeah, you can bring an inspector in, but I should say it's a misnomer. There's likely not a contingency period. You can still bring an inspector in, but you're not going to be able to get out of that contract. On new construction, the contracts are much more stringent. That said, there's a bonus to going through new home book builders, especially in a time of higher interest rates like we have now. Those home builders may offer incentives where they can buy down your interest rate. So if they offer $50,000 of incentives on a $500,000 house, they'll give you a choice of ways to use those incentives. And most people at this point in time choose that rate buy down. So rather than having a 7% interest rate, maybe you can get down to 6.25% interest rate, or but buying points up ahead in front of ahead of time is what those new home builders are doing these days. And that's why their sales have really been gangbusters over the last year or so, where the resale market started to struggle a bit more. So you can still use a realtor, still use an agent when going to the home builders. And I do recommend that. It's not going to cost you any more money. Their fees are already built into the sales price, and either the in-house salesperson or your outside agent will get those fees. Their commission. So to me, it's much better to have your own representation rather than having the in-house sales team represent both sides of the transaction. There's also an attorney review period within both new construction contracts and resale contracts. So if you see fit, you can have an option of an attorney reviewing the contract. In some states, it's mandatory, and in others, you don't need it. It is not a mandatory step, but it really depends on your situation and how much you trust your agent, because in a lot of states, the agents are the ones writing these binding contracts. For instance, in Florida, where I work, we write binding contracts. So you want to make sure that your agent knows what they're doing. But those are the main steps to purchasing your first home. Things not to do when you're about to close on a home. Your financing contingency is based on your basic spending on an average month. So you don't want to make any huge purchases during your contract period. For instance, don't go and buy a car 2 weeks before closing, because it might throw off your financing contingency if you have a higher loan payment, or if you spend cash and have less cash in your accounts. It really can hinder you. So don't go on any huge vacations. Don't buy a car. Just, continue status quo during the contract time, which is about 30, maybe 45 days, depending on how the contracts were written. Other things, don't put the cart before the horse. I know it's a really exciting period, but make sure you're hitting every single one of these marks, the critical date timelines, you're doing your inspections, and you have the team in place. If you need to make those renovations, you can start, getting in touch with contractors as soon as the contract is hard, really, and line up your services, because that's still pretty difficult these days. The contractors are still a little bit backlogged depending on what area of the country you're in. So if you will need renovations, you want to minimize your transition time, minimize your timeline to actually getting in the house in a finished product that you really want to live in. So those are the basics to building wealth through your home ownership goals. And if you have any questions, if you would like any recommendations in terms of mortgage professionals or real estate professionals, agents, or where to buy in your community, please feel free to reach out. My name again is Erin Sykes. My phone number is 609-517-3071. I'm based in the United States. You can WhatsApp or text or call anytime. And my website is erinsykesrealestate.com. Thanks again. Have a great afternoon. Hi everyone, my name is Adriana Luna Carlos, and most of you know me as the leader behind the scenes at She Rises Studios. But today I want to shine light on something a little bit different. I want to talk about resilience and the incredible power that it holds. As a child, I had unquenchable thirst for adventure. The world, as vast as it seemed, was my playground. I had big dreams, and I refused to let anyone convince me that I could not achieve them. Dreams to me were like classified missions. There were these audacious ideas that you held close, secrets you'd only dare utter if you had a concrete plan to back them up, which I'm sure we've all had those. So they were my personal quests, fueled by imagination and spirit, even in the face of overwhelming odds. And as you all know, we all have those too. But today I want to talk about the resilience of dreaming big, because it's the first step to doing bigger things. It's about turning those dreams into reality. We all encounter challenges and doubts on our journey, don't we? They're part of the parcel of the grand adventure that we call life. However, it's not the presence of these challenges, but how we choose to face them that truly define us. I was never one to crumble in the face of adversity. Defeat for me was a lesson, not a dead end. In fact, I never really called it defeat. You see, everything in life is attainable if we truly desire it. But it's more than just wanting it. It's about gaining perspective, having unwavering faith, nurturing ambition, and seasoning it all with a sprinkle of skepticism and reality. Now, dreaming big is just the start of our journey. The real magic happens when you take those daring dreams and transform them into tangible accomplishments. How, you ask? It's about creating action plans, meticulous and well thought out. You see, dreams without a strategy often remain trapped in the world and the realm of our imaginations. So to turn our dreams into reality, we need a roadmap, a clear course, a trusted guide, and a sense of direction. Without these, our dreams can feel like stars that we can see but never quite reach. Today is a celebration of the resilience that each one of us holds within. It's a celebration for those daring dreams that burn deep within inside of our souls. Dreams that, when nurtured with unwavering determination, can fuel our journey to doing bigger and more remarkable things. So, let's embrace the challenges, the doubts, and the uncertainties. Let's face them head on, knowing that with resilience, a well-crafted plan, and spirit, we can transform our dreams into monumental achievements. I want to thank you all for being a part of this incredible journey. Together, we can dream big and do bigger. The world is truly waiting for your dream to come true. Thank you, everyone.
Somebody wants to say one phrase that they feel as we're going through this process together, please express, like, what is that? For me, is community, tribe. This is what it is for me. I think. Yes. What would be Lorelet?
Transformation, that's for sure.
Transformation. Jacqueline, what's for you?
For me, belief.
Belief.
Emphasizing belief.
Yes. What is for you, Claudia? One word. What is this for you?
Freedom.
Freedom. Wow.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's powerful. Freedom. What about you, Julissa?
I was thinking along the lines, unleashing. I think this is our time to unleash a lot of things.
Adriana, one word.
Destiny. Destiny.
Destiny.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Ooh.
Confidence.
You can do anything you want.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Everybody who's watching this, ladies, they are busy, they're professional, their own businesses, they're entrepreneurs. And I wanted to say thank you to our publisher, the She Rises Studio, for believing in us. And also want to acknowledge Rosemary Diane. Out of the 21 ladies, 20 of them are Latina. Rosemary is Italian descendant, and so proud of being part of this group. And that's what it shows, diversity and inclusion at its best. The ebook is coming on what day, Jackie?
October 3rd.
October 3rd! That's soon! October 3rd, and we're waiting for everybody to support this project. How can you support this project? Guess what? By buying a book, whether it is an ebook form and then in hard copy.
struggled with self-confidence. Being over 50, I've had countless moments of self-doubt, from questioning my career choices to going through a divorce and trying to navigate the dating world as a single mom. Sometimes it feels like the doubts just keep piling up, but I know I'm not alone in this struggle. I am your host, Kelly Buckley, and I'm thrilled to be sharing the Beautifully Confident Show, where we'll explore ways to grow our confidence inside and out. We'll hear from experts who have been through it all and learn practical tips for embracing our strengths and feeling more self-assured. I'm excited to embark on this journey of self-discovery and growth, and I hope you'll join me in overcoming our doubts and fears and become beautifully confident together.
Did perimenopause or menopause catch you off guard? Weird symptoms appearing from nowhere, wondering who is this person inhabiting your body? And most of all, having no one to talk to about it. I became determined to help other women understand and control their own menopause journey. Because menopause matters. And here we talk all things menopause. I'm your host, Sean Andrus. And this is Menopause Matters.
I'm Michelle, and this is Work Life TV. I started my first at-home business in 2005 when I decided that I really wanted to work and raise my family on my own terms. I started with one client, and through word of mouth, my business grew. So now I have two businesses, Virtual Work Wife, which is my marketing agency, and Health Business Boss Institute, which is my coaching company that I run with my business partner, Jen.
Living Your Legacy is a community where ordinary people who've been called to create something bigger than themselves can come together to be inspired, connect, learn, and live into the legacies they want to see in the world. I'm your host, Michelle Slaney Travato, and this is the Living Your Legacy podcast.
What does it mean to be an unstoppable woman? It's a lifestyle. It's a commitment. It's the mother. It's the daughter. It's the fighter. It's the survivor. It's committing to make the change within. It's the process of becoming an unstoppable woman.